believe it.
Hey, did you know that socialism is just like a word and we've demonized it?
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've been learning that through, we have a transgender gubernatorial candidate for Idaho. And I was all worried because she calls herself a socialist, and she informed me that that's not a big deal.
Oh.
And the guy interviewing her was great too, because he was telling me like one of the reasons he's a socialist is, I mean, can you guess why he's a socialist?
Because he likes people.
Yeah, pretty much.
He has a big heart.
Pretty much, but what word do you think he used?
Empathy.
Yeah, because he has empathy. And I realize that's really the only problem here is that I don't have empathy. That's why I'm not yet a socialist. Hopefully I can get to that level of mavenhood.
Oh, if only we had that empathy. If only we could learn. If only someone could teach.
If only.
I don't think you can teach it. Can you teach it? Isn't it part of their worldview that, I mean, we just can't learn anyway, so you just got to get rid of us?
Yeah, pretty much.
Maybe you could go to like a re-education center or something like that.
Well, I don't know. They say that sometimes, but then they also say that they always claim that they learned empathy at a certain age. So I don't really know. It's
well, usually it's because like they stopped and they thought, like, what if I had empathy?
Yeah, they did shrooms.
I was going to Mormon church, and then I said, wait a minute, what if I had empathy?
Yeah, somebody on where was it? It was on Lobsters.
Blue Meanie. What's that?
Yeah, we got Blue Meanie. Yeah, somebody on Lobsters described it.
Mainstream.
I took acid and discovered other people have feelings. And I said that's the best description of 90% of ex-Mormon influencers.
What? I mean, I always okay.
Extreme girl opinion on politics is the opinion of a kindergarten teacher extrapolated to the national level. Young women are socialists because that's what you would do with crayons and 3-year-olds. You would make sure that they share. It's very mean not to share. Oh, we're supposed to share. We're supposed to share. The open borders mindset with immigration is like you would never tell a kid that he can't come eat lunch with everybody and learn about triangles or whatever, even if the kid is like a 40-year-old rapist from Bogota. The support for DEI and social Marxism is like being extra nice to the kids that got bullied. In the hatred of political dissent, women are very harsh to people who they disagree with politically. And the desire for censorship is actually just making sure nobody's being mean in the classroom. It's like, and all of those instincts are fine on the interior. They have no place on the exterior deciding rules. It's just not the kind of thing that they are.
I got one
on women. What's that?
I got a beef with what he said.
What do you say?
He's making it sound like that kind of thing is good in schools and stuff, but it's not good in politics. It's not good in schools.
Yeah, it's not good at any point.
Do you know how many like I always had the friend that nobody else liked because I thought I was supposed to, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But like there's a reason
cause you problems.
Yeah, we were always the shittiest friends too. And there's a reason that kid doesn't have any friends. And I don't know, you shouldn't go out of your way to be a dick to him. But like
he kills animals.
If people are like just forced to be friends with the reject douchebag, then they're never gonna learn how to start. They're gonna be, oh, I can keep being a douchebag and I'll still get friends. The only hope they have of not being a douchebag anymore is if you fucking, I don't know, if there's some sort of social punishment for that.
Yeah. There's Flip. You missed it. We're already going in on women.
What's the one thing we're not talking about that we should be?
Gyno-fascism. I figured you'd make that look. It's something I've been thinking about a lot over the last 20 years. Like, we need more women in positions of power. We need more women making the calls and calling the shots. We need a woman president. We need a woman prime minister. We need more feminine presence, like everywhere. And LA is like mostly women city council. We have a female mayor, and we don't get anything done. And I started to really think about like there's a difference between the male brain and the female brain. And the male brain wants to do stuff like go, go, go. Like if you want to know the difference between the male brain and the female brain, Karen Bass and Donald Trump got together 3 days after the fires. And Donald Trump was like, let's get going, move, clean up those lots. Let's get building. And she was like, slow it down, slow it down. She is a process person, and women are more likely to be process people. They talk, they want to talk it out. They want to work, they want to have a meeting, and they want to break off and have another meeting, and then we put together a blue ribbon panel. And so in LA, we have a homeless problem. And the homeless problem keeps getting worse every year, but we keep having more conversations and more panels and more groups, but it's mostly women, and nothing ever gets enacted. And we are heading toward a society that used to be men, testosterone. And by the way, I'm not making this up. You're going to see more articles and stuff coming out that the feminine mind is different. And the feminine mind is also satiated by actually discussing the thing. So if we're sitting here and, you're going, we should take this and move this wall and do a thing. The feminine mind actually feels like we did something, whereas the male mind is like, we haven't done anything. We just keep talking about this thing that we're not doing. And it's frustrating versus satiating. So the feminization is causing a huge shift in our culture. We just got crushed by COVID, especially in Los Angeles, because we had a female health director. And by the way, men can be stricken with this. Gavin Newsom's a pussy. Eric Garcetti, our former mayor. Justin Trudeau thinks like a chick. You can tell.
I like how they
watch
edited
them cross
it
their
in.
legs. Watch Obama and Trudeau and Newsom when they cross.
He's back to the leg crossing.
Oh yeah, I love the deep leg cross.
Did you see any of the Spencer Pratt debate?
I saw bits and pieces of it, which, by the way, here's another area where I totally agree with Adam Carolla, is when they talk about Katie Porter, like the real reason she's like in hot water is because it was revealed that she's a bitch.
Oh, yeah.
And I had the same exact stance as he does. I don't care if she's a bitch. That doesn't really mean anything. If I had a governor who is a woman and was a huge bitch and yelled at her staff, get the fuck out of my shot, but she balanced the budget.
Yeah.
Shit like that. Awesome. I vote her every fucking time. I don't care.
Yeah, that guy's been saying some of the stuff. I'm like, is that Flip on stage there? I mean, he's not a reality show, dude, or anything, but
how did him and Jimmy Kimmel still get along?
Oh, I mean Spencer Pratt, but yeah, Carolla too.
Oh, yeah.
You want to know the truth? Like whenever I saw Flip at work, I would genuinely kind of see that, because I was an HR guy where Flip was at, and I was like, this isn't going to work because Flip's just going to tell them what they're doing wrong, and they don't like that, and he's going to be right, and they double don't like that, and that's going to go south quick, and it didn't go south quick, but let me see.
Robin acts like she doesn't have any authority with homelessness. She was the third most powerful person in city council. She runs the homeless housing thing. She acts like this is just Mayor Bass. First off, inside safe, I like to say inside safe makes all of us outside unsafe. The reality is no matter how many beds you give these people, they are on super meth. They are on fentanyl. The DEA statistic is not.
I didn't know about super meth. I knew about super gay, but I didn't know about super
It's
meth.
Blue Crystal, Walter White stuff, man.
Problem. Nithya, Councilwoman Robin's plan for treatment first. I will go below the Harbor Freeway tomorrow with her, and we can find some of these people she's going to offer treatment for. She's going to get stabbed in the neck. People do not want a bed. They want fentanyl or super meth. These ideas cost us over $400 million.
That's why I was like, is that Flip on stage there? Like somebody's finally saying this. It's so funny.
Oh, there really is a super meth.
There is?
Yes. I just looked it up. It's like a real thing. Like P2P meth is a synthetic version of methamphetamine made using the phenyl-2-propanone method. It's cheaper to produce, widely available, and far more dangerous than older formulas.
Wow.
Meth is often purer and more potent, but more toxic to the brain. It's linked to extreme aggression, hallucinations, and long-term psychosis, even after short-term use. Why is this a growing concern? Like, because of
Why?
like, yeah, no, there's all these articles about it. It's like super meth, a deadly new drug. Super meth from Mexico. What to know about the drug? Like, these are all from the last 3-4 years. I thought he was just like using bombastic language, but no, apparently this is a thing. I'd never heard of that. Super meth.
I think he probably was using bombastic language, but it also happens to be a thing.
Yeah, no, like 'cause now I'm trying to think. Like, I think I see people on super meth downtown all the time.
You see, UN Women say here, any job is a woman's job. Any job is a woman's job. Any job is a woman's job. Any job is a woman's job.
This is one of my favorite things. Is kind of, it's basically related to this. Whenever I don't know, you'll say like female doctor or something like that, and like, why you have to specify that it's female? Like, well, because it's abnormal. Like it's not that abnormal, but it's male dominated. Nobody gets mad when you say male model or male nurse. Like, oh yeah, he's a male nurse.
Yeah.
Like, why'd you have to specify male? Men can be nurses too. Yeah, that's why I said male, is because men can be nurses.
My job takes me into every clinic and every hospital from Beaver to Idaho, and women are absolutely dominating in every single department.
Oh, then, all the academics.
And then, but like, here's the other thing though, is like in the IMC and the Death Star, it's like the largest hospital west of the Mississippi. It's like world-class, gigantic medical facility. And they have the NICU, they have the, women labor NICU, that whole floor. And in the back, they've got like the yearbook of all the people that work there. And they've got like, 80 nurses. And every single one of them is a woman. And that doesn't bother me at all. I'm not annoyed that the women's center, that the place that does all the birthing and all that crap, doesn't bother me that every single nurse in there is a woman. And I don't think it bothers any of the women that go in there to give birth to babies or have medical treatments or whatever, right? But like, why is that okay with feminists? Why is that okay with them? It's okay with me. Why is it okay with them?
Well, nobody really notices that, because you're right. I didn't even think about it. My mom's a labor and delivery nurse, and anytime we go in there to have a kid, I think the anesthesiologist was a dude. Yeah. And one of her doctors was a dude. The other one was a woman.
Like, if you look at the wall of
I didn't even think about it.
Like, a couple of the people that, like the people who take out the garbage, one or two of them are men. A couple of the doctors are men. But like, overall, it's like 95% women. But like, that makes sense to me. I don't have any problem with that. But the thing is, like, it doesn't matter what department you go into. It literally doesn't matter what department you go into. And here's the other thing is, because like everywhere you go, they put the pictures up of all the doctors. If it's a male doctor, 50% chance he's like 50 years or older. Like, everybody, like all of the doctors under 30, like 80% female easily, maybe more.
Charlie, what he's saying there was actually something that people on Grok, I was going to show it. I was actually going to get to that. People on Grok asked underneath it, what percentage of jobs are that don't have air conditioning are held by women? And it was 11%, and 70% like for men and upwards. It was like they were just cracking wise on it underneath it, like just showing like all this stuff of like, look at all these jobs that women just don't take or don't do.
What about what if you did that breakdown by your job involves sitting in a chair for most of the day? Like, I'm sure there's another major gender gap there.
That's funny, because we so this place we're working at right now it's this cell next to the prototype submarine, and it's got a giant hatch on it. You have to climb down a ladder. That's the only way to get into it. And it's about 35 feet deep, and we're in there cutting out radiologically contaminated pipes and stuff like that to demolish it. And it gets hot down there, and plus you got to wear your lab coat and gloves and stuff. You got to wear a lot of stuff, so you're definitely going to sweat while you're down there. There's no AC down there. And but the guys that are doing this job, their supervisor is a woman. And I come in there the other day, and there's two like stand-up fans that she has leaning on the guardrail, pointed down, like into the cell, in this giant ass hole. And she's like, "Oh yeah, I figure this will cool them off." I figure it won't.
Yeah, they're gonna need a lot more than that.
Charles said that he heard that on a podcast. It's probably on the Boys Cast, because that's where I got this and jumped off of it from. But there's this dude who calls himself like the king of Stoicism, and he's been becoming like the famous Joe Rogan-y type of the left over there.
Stoicism is not supposed to make you a better sociopath or a bigger asshole. That's not what this is. Right. That's the ethical component.
Yeah.
Right. I think Elon Musk was on Joe Rogan, and he said, empathy is going to cause the destruction of Western civilization. That is a profoundly stupid thing to say and think.
You talk about him a lot in the book, and it seems like part of the point you're making is maybe here's a brilliant man who's done a lot of amazing things, but wasn't on this path to wisdom.
I mean, to say that Elon Musk is not smart is like saying he's not rich. He's clearly very smart.
Yeah.
But that is what is so scary about it, that you could be so brilliant, so gifted, so informed, you could have been so successful, and then social media can still break your brain.
Right.
And it did.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
This is a guy.
So anyway, he went viral because he's pushing all the Democrats in California. He's been all over the stage, but he had this like long video on what's her name, Trump,
away for you
talking about empathy, and he crashes out. He crashes out, freaking out that that's not Stoicism. I'm no one who knows what Stoicism. I'm the Stoicism guy, and everybody's like, "Look at this Stoicism guy crash out."
Don't show any of these to Morgan. She's got like 4 of his books.
No, no. Yeah.
Who is he? What's his name?
Ryan Holiday.
He's become the guru of Stoicism, but Stoicism means being
leftist
being
Stoic.
a shit lib, I guess.
Yeah, like leftist Stoic doesn't make sense to me.
No,
because like Stoicism is at odds with the vision of the anointed.
Yeah. So of course it caused like all this like talk again of the suicidal empathy all over Twitter, and people putting these long think pieces. Shapiro talked about it like for a while and all that stuff, but we've gone over all that before. The concept of, well, I guess Gad Sad has his book called Suicidal Empathy that Elon Musk was referencing there, that he was talking about, and he wasn't talking about empathy. He was saying the concept of suicidal empathy, or what was that book called, Against Empathy, that caused all the waves a few years ago by what's his name?
Or when Charlie Kirk said he thinks empathy.
He was talking about the same book.
Yeah.
Paul Bloom's book of Against
how many
Empathy.
like, okay, if you've never heard any of this like debate on the word empathy before, if you were not dropped into this situation, how long do you think it would take you to think of an answer to the question, where can empathy go wrong? Like
10 seconds, but I mean,
yeah, I know.
Well,
I got my mom lets my homeless heroin addict brother, she gives him money all the time, and gave him a house, and he ruined it. Now she's giving him another house. So
I don't know
probably
if
there.
Did you guys see it? I don't remember who it was. Some YouTuber. It might have been Count Dankula or somebody. I don't know. Liberal Hive Mind, one of those guys. But apparently, there's a story coming out of Spain where like this uber leftist Spanish lady, like declared, she's like, I am so empathetic and so kind that I am going to let
I've got it.
an African asylum thing. Okay, you've got that. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Then let's just play that story, because like
I just have a Twitter post of it.
Oh yeah, but like yeah, so like she lets the guy live in her house, and like first it's just small stuff like he constantly leaves all the lights on, and and energy.
This might be a second case, because I think you're talking about another one that I know.
There might be a different one, yeah. But here's the other crazy thing is like it got like at one point he like sexually assaulted one of her friends. Mm-hmm. And then he went to the police, or she went to the police. I mean, she went to the police and said, I need this guy out of my house. And they said, he's lived there long enough that he has squatter's rights. And so she had to leave the house, and he has taken over her apartment or whatever it was. She has to pay for it. She has to pay for all the bills. Like, and she's legally on the hook for this, and they have no way to get rid of him under Spanish law.
Yeah. Is this her? This might be
I
different.
think
but
it
this
might
is a
be it.
Spanish activist. Let's see. She did what all good comrades do. She opened her home to a North African migrant. Once he got what he wanted, the man started sexually harassing her, insulting her, and beating her. Then he threw her out, changed her locks, and took over.
Yeah, no, I think that's the one. Yeah,
I learned this when I was like 8
posted a
years
bunch of
old.
videos.
I've heard a couple other stories that are similar, though.
But I mean, even like, I mentioned it before, but there was a year or two ago, like half a mile away from where I live, there was a lady lives on South Temple here, and she saw a homeless, struggling guy, and she's like, you know what? You can come to my house. I'll feed you, and you can take a shower, and I'll wash your clothes. You know, I'll clean you up, and I'll feed you. And he stabbed her to death.
Yeah.
Because he's a maniac.
Blue Meanie's got one too. Lionel Shriver. She's been good. She's good to listen to on podcast. She's like a former, still a current novelist, and and a former, lifelong kind of leftist, and saying like, "Come on, guys, what are we doing?" type stuff. And I mean, that debate in California was just great because somebody was finally up there saying, "What the heck are you guys doing?" You know, and everybody just generally knows that all it takes is for the population to get up to a point of exhaustion with it a little bit, you know. But
how are they not there? Like, I see the footage of those streets. How are they not? How are they not there?
Yeah,
I don't know. Like I in less than a month, I listened to Vision of the Anointed twice, and like on the one hand, it's really nice because it's like, gosh, it's nice to hear these things, these ideas articulated so well. Like Thomas Sowell is so good at just condensing those ideas down in language. But it's also kind of, is it black pill? I always get my pills mixed up. It's like, what the fuck do you do? Like, what can you do? Because that's part of the, like, one of the things that he stresses over and over again, like with the Anointed, is there's no penalty for being wrong on the left. None whatsoever. You know, you can be forever wrong. You can be spectacularly, catastrophically wrong, and there's no penalty. Nobody asks questions.
They did the best they could during COVID with the information they had, all right?
But like we talked
they
about,
thought that the best thing you could possibly do was arrest his dad and his son playing catch in a park alone, all right?
Yeah.
We talked about last week of some progressive mathematics programs that didn't work in California, but they get 10 years of leeway and money to do it. But a lot of times what happens with those cases, as happens with the homeless situation in California, is they throw tons of money at it. And then after all this time, it gets worse. And then they say, it's because we need more money. This isn't funded enough. And every single NPR article in the world is just another article about how we need to throw more money at the problem.
Well, that's the other thing that Thomas Sowell always brings up in the Vision of the Anointed, with the Anointed, is that the intentions are the accomplishment from their perspective.
Yeah.
Like,
that's Adam Carolla.
The money is intended to help homelessness.
We had the discussion. We allocated the money that it is taken care of. We've had the meetings, and we've put several high-powered women of color who are disabled and trans in charge of it, and they each get $1.5 million a year for some reason.
Louis C.K.'s got a great bit from years ago.
Rent control is intended to make housing cheaper. It doesn't matter that it makes housing more expensive. It's intended to make it cheaper, so that's what counts.
It's a great Louis C.K. bit from like a decade ago where he's talking about flying first class, and he's like, "It's because I'm rich. Okay, I fly first class because I'm rich." But he always talks about being in first class, and he'll see like a soldier walk by him, and he'll always think, "Yeah, I should give him my seat. You know, he's our troop. He thinks he's fighting for our freedom or whatever." And I never do. But the worst part of it is, I feel good inside just for having thought about doing that thing that I didn't do.
Yeah.
That's like in the classic Seinfeld episode when there's the struggling restaurant run by a Pakistani guy across the street, you know, and so he's like, I'm going to go in there and give him service. And he goes and it's like, I'm ordering everything on the menu. And, you know, the Pakistani says, you are a good man. And his internal dialogue is, I am good. You know, Jerry, like, yeah, I am a good person. You know, like, that's exactly what that is.
Well, the famous example that I think Jordan Peterson used to give was like, and one of the ways that empathy becomes a thing that can create more tribalism than anything in the world is that what's the most dangerous animal to come across in the wild? A mother bear. And the mother bear has so much empathy for their infant or whatever that anything that comes near it is a villain, is a predator, got to kill it. And that's the problem with empathy. You go around infantilizing the world, and then you decide anything, even the vicinity of that thing you've infantilized, is a predator, and you must attack now.
Well, they act like such hatchlings. Anytime you criticize empathy, but like children's stuff figured this out. If you give a mouse a cookie, figured this shit out. There's a SpongeBob episode where he lets Squidward take advantage of him because he's homeless and down on his luck, and Squidward just becomes a tyrant dick. Like, this is children level shit. It's not like you're a brilliant thought leader for having thought of, hey, maybe sometimes too much empathy is a bad thing.
Yeah.
We already knew this.
But in none of the cases do they say never have empathy. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But or like Charlie Kirk said, it was like, I prefer the word sympathy rather than empathy. But like, I can sympathize with you, but there's going to be some things that you have to do to make your situation better in all situations, or take some responsibility. Jared did give one suggestion of this might be something that would help, I guess. We could redefine MILF. East Idaho is going to redefine MILF as mindful, intentional, loving, fit as a mother.
I was working, so I couldn't come up. I only came up with 2 alternatives.
What?
Mentally ill, lazy feminist. And then I got mildly entertaining, lovable fatty.
Yeah. I did one. I was like, this is amazing. I think that we also need to highlight the wonders of our education system by celebrating our sweet, loving, underappreciated teachers. It's just slut. we just gotta do this with all the words, right?
And you know, I'm on board.
Little didn't have my vote, but I'm not a fan of Little.
I'll adopt them, man. I will call every gal that comes across us a MILF. Like, anyone, because they're like, you are a MILF.
Yeah, he put MILF Day. He put MILF Day on the map, and so now he's got my fucking vote.
Massively ignorant, lying freaks.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, I can.
How about Mother I'd Like to Fuck?
Wow. Oh, that's a classic.
Yeah, you can't mess with the classics.
But like, also, like, I mean, this is one of those things where, like, why would you think this is a good idea?
I don't know why you think it's a good idea, and it's also, you didn't do anything. This is the Adam Carolla.
Oh yeah.
You just said it. You're like,
I have good feelings.
Women are wonderful, and they should never be sad.
How many high school kids are sitting there like, yes, okay, MILF, MILF, MILF. Everybody's a MILF. You know,
yeah.
We accept.
But also, like, it's just this. I mean, this is the dumb feminist double standard. Like, you know, in their paranoid persecution complex, society gives men a pass for literally everything. It's like, no, they don't. Not even close. And then, like, conversely, like, do women ever do anything that we can say that's less effective? You should make better choices for yourself and the people around you. There are better choices you can make, lady. But you're not allowed to say that.
Josh Slocum's Disaffected program, like every single week now, is just, he's going in hard. I'm like, no, we are taking it to them and saying, holding them responsible for the shit that they say and do. We are no more letting women off for every single thing in the world. We're saying, like, no, this is a woman being crazy. Stop it.
And this is one of those, like, what is this story? Like, and also, like, as if this is some kind of new thing, like this crazy new phenomenon where it's like women are not interested in mediocre men, like breaking news. Yeah, yep, that's how that works.
Yeah.
There's things like, even the whole concept of, like, some subpar men. What's a subpar woman? Economist writer can, like, no, there is Republican women.
Well, they wouldn't be subpar if they weren't so brainwashed.
Oh, that's right.
It's a whole
I keep forgetting they're victims of the Patriot.
They are. Right. We can dislike them, but we have to understand. We have to
have
empathy.
What about the screaming lady on super meth that I hear fighting with people?
Again, victim of some society. It's capitalism's fault, really, is what I would say. And if you want a good critique on capitalism, you should read the classic George Orwell Animal Farm.
Oh,
What?
Yeah, it's just great. I haven't read the book. I saw the movie, but I'm assuming I'm assuming the book. Yeah, I'm assuming the book was a critique on capitalism.
I thought I had some stuff on there. Yeah, I thought it was, but yeah, I had that stuff towards the top here, the top of the slop. Did you see this stuff? That first off, there was this wild thing where I don't know if I want to jag into that yet because I had a bunch of stuff on the slop, but we could go to it. First, I want to say we talked about last week this image here of young women have become much more. It's the women who are radicalizing, and I saw some think pieces from some women on this saying, no, this is just obviously that they're getting more empathy, and that's why.
Can you just define a radical lefty? Could they possibly define a radical lefty? Because I bet they wouldn't even. I bet most of the people I talk to wouldn't even define Luigi Mangione as a radical lefty.
Yeah,
and it's normal lefties cheer him on. It's just the normal lefty dude at work when we've heard about that. Like he was like, "Ah, hell yeah, get him, bro." It's like he murdered a guy. He shot a guy in the back.
Yeah, like that's the other thing. Is like, I want to ask these people: do you think that United Healthcare has killed more people than they've saved?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, really, is that how you think that works? Because, like, you know, and that's the other thing is like, undoubtedly, like some of the horror stories of medical insurance is true. Like, yep, I get it, I believe you, but like, they do have to deal with fraud. There's tons and 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 tons of fraud, and you know, when they're denying claims, it's because they're fighting fraud. And like, do some people get swept up in that don't deserve it? Probably, you know. But like, that's another one of those like Thomas Sowell trade-offs thing. Like, if one person gets swept up in you know, with the having their stuff denied that shouldn't be denied, but 999 frauds are caught, you know, so we're not losing money on all the frauds. Is that better? Like, will more people survive if there's less fraud?
Yeah. Ryan says that he has beaten the matriarchal power system and has gained custody of one child. Well, that's one place where it's definitely not a patriarchy in the custody system. But jump off of your Animal Farm thing. Like all these, this is a right-wing TikToker.
This type of response a lot in my comment section regarding the new Animal Farm movie, or people are talking about how Tim Pool did a review and he said it's not anti-communist anymore. Now it's anti-capitalist. And look, I got no beef with Tim Pool. Love the guy. Been on his show. Wonderful person. But he's fucking wrong. This movie is...
Wait a minute. What he said is just the opposite of what I would say. Like, Tim Pool is great. He's awesome. Insightful guy. No, he's fucking not. He's irritating and he's such a...
But he's right. He's right on Animal.
But he's correct on this.
Yeah.
You got it backward, buddy.
Not invert Orwell's thinking. Now, I will say it is not a shot-for-shot remake of Orwell's novel, because when Orwell wrote that, the danger was communism and the solution was capitalism. But let's be real about this, guys. We are not in danger of falling to communism. But what we're living in is not the idyllic capitalism that Orwell thought of. No, we are living in a bullshit version of crony capitalism, where
So
you say this guy's a right winger?
No, well, this is the point of this. He's one of these. There was a mass campaign of every one of these people. Like, if you see like what Tim Pool is saying here, okay, bro, reply with how much you got paid to post.
Oh yeah, I forgot they did it. They gave
and Tim Pool had talked about that he got offered something like $50,000 to give the same message. And if you go and watch Tucker Carlson or any one of the Daily Wire guys, they all gave this exact same message. Like, I don't think you guys read Animal Farm very much right.
The Daily Wire guys? It was Angel Studio did it. I know
Michael Knowles, everybody. So it was just like, you remember when all of a sudden all these right wingers were saying stuff of like, come on guys, we don't want to take soda away from SNAP benefits.
Yeah.
And then they found out that there was like a mass payment campaign to get all these right wingers to say a message. It was Angel Studios offering every single right winger to give the same message, and they were offering $50,000. This guy even
like
came out
in a perfect
in a later tweet and admitted it.
Like, that's crony capitalism. Like, hey, we want to.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, crony, Say you're against crony capitalism.
Yeah.
Here's $50,000. Yeah, that's amazing.
So was it, and I was
gonna say,
really
'cause, like-
disheartened because I saw Michael Knowles give the same message. I didn't see Matt Walsh do it, but like almost all of them, they say it almost word for word.
Well, it's
The
also like,
redheaded libertarian. That was the
All of
funniest
them.
one to me.
Dude,
Also, like, there's this whole
Riley
thing with-
Gaines. They got Riley
Yeah.
Gaines to say, and Riley Gaines. There is a trans person actress in that movie who has denounced Riley Gaines, and they got Riley Gaines just to say all the same stuff. And everybody said we know, and Tim Pool is the one who kind of exposed this is exactly how much they paid me to say exactly that, and kind of cool by Tim Pool to like put that out
Yeah.
there. Anyway,
That's nuts.
yeah, so it's just like the same thing when every single one of them suddenly jumped on saying, "Come on, guys, we don't want to take soda and candy away from SNAP benefits." It was just a mass payment
Like,
campaign.
yeah, no, I do.
Yeah, I absolutely do. Are you fucking kidding me?
Political insights for potty humor. If you're wondering what kind of potty humor, well, how about this for you? I'm about to fart right now. This is the sound of freedom. That's the sound and smell of freedom. Sickly face. I just can't
is that a
remember.
shot?
That's
that
what
like a
it's getting at, yeah.
Is that a shot at?
Kind
Sound
of rings a
Freedom?
bell, you know. If anything to do with Angel Studios has to do with the sound of freedom.
Hear that? That's the sound of freedom.
Sound of Freedom is one of those films that can legitimately change this world.
Ah, yes, that would be the movie about rescuing children from traffickers. Can't remember who published that, though. Oh, yeah, Angel Studios.
Open their eyes.
Yeah, so the whole thing was just so wild that I mean, who knows like how they got roped into putting out that shit. You know, maybe they just bought up something. They thought, look, we got this thing with all these actors, and they said it had been in production for years, and then they just bought it and they got themselves a stinker, but then they had to do what they could to try to salvage it. But did you see this? There was like a whole thing that if you watch the movie at the end, there's a QR code, and the QR code, you click on it. And it says, did you like the movie or did you not like the movie? And it said, I did not like the movie. And it says, I did not like the movie. It gives you this answer. Your opinion is wrong, but you can make your stuff better by paying money to Angel Studios or something like that.
Oh, see, I assumed it was just linked you directly to the donation to the Democratic Socialists of America.
Yeah. It's so goofy. It's so weird that all happened. Like speaking of slop and Animal Farm and all that stuff. I'm half interested in seeing it, but I'd like to see it in some way that didn't pass on any sort of money to those goofwads. But so crazy that all went down that way. But you guys see any other slop this week when you're forced to sit through the most dog shit MAGA musician, comedian, actor because you
Tom McDonald.
And Tom McDonald. Oh, I need to get back to this, man. I'll get back to that. Just speaking of slop, that you know the Hurley He skits that the Hurley He boy that we love to talk about because it is like toxic empathy. It's Adam Sandler sitting there asking for more and more outrageous things, and Farley just standing and let him like, let the boy wear your underwear. It's just some underwear. Can't you see he's a good boy?
For the love of God,
he just asked
let him
for,
sleep in your bed.
We tried to show it once, but SNL dings you no matter what. Yeah. Anyway, Hurley He was this dude in the middle here. They just used his name for that skit. The guy with glasses there, Tim Hurley He was a longtime writer on Saturday Night Live. Probably one of the best writers too. He'd written a lot of good stuff. Anyway, I found out because like there's a bunch of like, well, how come they have all these whiteys all over the SNL again all of a sudden? And I found out like almost all of them are children of former writers. It's like straight nepotism. Really? So this guy's like Tim Hurley He's kid and all that stuff. And Adam Sandler just dropped a movie called Roommates on Netflix, and it stars his daughter. It stars Eddie Murphy's daughter, Francis Scorsese's daughter, Tim Hurley He's son, Chris Rock's daughter, that sorts of stuff. So that's always been the other thing, like the universities that bar off any white or Asian people getting in, but the ones who get in are nepotism. You know, they get grandfathered in from all these things. Like this guy was part of a comedy troupe, and the whole comedy troupe of his family are all Saturday Night Live actors now. And it was strange. I was like, whoa, they suddenly have a bunch of white guys on there now. Oh, it's because they're all former writers' kids. But
jeez. You know what's funny about the Animal Farm thing? Did you ever see that they did an animated movie in '54
You ever see that?
Yeah.
There was controversy around it.
I
They
was
should
I was
change-
shown it in elementary school, and I
Oh, were
read it
ya?
in elementary school. Yeah.
Well, there was controversy around it for one reason. They tweaked one thing. It was still the same message, except for they thought the ending was too sad. So at the ending, the animals do revolt and against the pigs, and it implies that they lived happily ever after.
Well, that I guess that's what happens in this one too. That this one at the end of it, they start a communist revolution for the people.
Yeah.
At the end of the new Animal Farm.
Yeah, but this isn't a communist revolution. This is them revolting against the communists in the 54 one. But in this one, it's they're really going with the, well, it would have worked if it were real communism argument. Like,
yeah.
Steve asked, why would Angel Studios want to pay all those people? I mean, I think the thing that always happens, they wanted to start seeming like a legit studio. And then when they had a thing to say like, oh, hey, look, we're working with Andy Serkis and Seth Rogen and all these guys, when really they were just picking up a movie, a stinker that nobody else wanted to pick up.
Oh,
and then they were stuck with something that was pure propaganda.
Speaking of Steve and film adaptations, what came in the mail?
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. Not a
Steve's
Big
got
Kid Yet by Steve Eliason.
A graphic
and
novel. I want one.
even signed. So
Yeah. When will they be in Barnes and Noble?
yeah, when they ask for movie rights on this, you gotta be sharp. Don't let the if it's like after we're all dead and gone, make sure the Eliason estate is in good hands. They won't botch your Bazooka Joe comic.
So I watched the new adaptation of Lord of the Flies. I got all the way through it, although I did figure out I couldn't watch on double time. I still need to figure out how to do Netflix on double time, and my life would be a lot better.
There's
But
only 4 episodes, right?
there's only 4. It's
That's
not
what it is.
it's not so bad. Like, it's not so far off the book. The only thing that's obvious is the casting. The casting is all the bad kids are white guys, and and the main kid is a child of mixed race, black and white parents, and so he's black. Even by the end of it, it's all these white kids chasing the one black kid. Which, sorry if I'm spoiling Lord of the Flies for you if you never.
Oh no!
But it does do the same thing that you'd think of with the Snape. It like changes the whole perception of that whole thing. Like, it looks like a lynching is going on as all these white kids are chasing the one black kid, and other than that, I mean, it kind of sticks to it. But there is absolutely homosexual overtones in this. Absolutely not even hinting, not even lying at it. Like, they are 100% doing that. They sit there and stare at each other in the face and suddenly start to cuddle at night and stuff like that, and get close to each other's faces and start touching each other like this and talk about how they used to love each other and stuff like that.
Oh no!
Yeah. What's funny is because I started looking it up saying, did anybody else notice? So like, am I just being like somebody who was it when Jack Posobiec went crazy about those kids getting mouth raped in Stranger Things?
Yeah.
Like, maybe that was like overthinking. No, this one's like, come on. Like, and then what was funny is like, I went to look it up, and of course I found all these old critical theory papers saying that it was the old one was always homosexual.
Always queer coded.
It was always queer coded. It was always homosexual. Yeah. But I mean, other than that, it kind of sticks to the book. It's kind of got some modernized language into it. Some of the stuff going back to women, and since we know like the women's writers' rooms nowadays, what they look like what Twitter used to look like, of course. But and before Elon, have you seen? I think I've got the before after pictures of Twitter somewhere. But and we've always pulled that up before, that the thing of like what the Marvel writer room turned into, and it was just a bunch of middle-aged women. When back in the day, it was all these autistic, scrumply-haired dudes who used to write for it, and now it's just and then the Huffington Post's writers' room. Like, you just see writers' room after writers' room, just like Flip was talking about. Quick even had an episode on it this week that he went to some graduation, and at the graduation of excellence, every single kid that was given some major award was a female, just like 100% of them. And just as Flip was talking, like, they're excelling in all these different areas of longhousey areas, of course. And but I'm tired of. I always thought this about J.K. Rowling too, not to throw shade at her, even though she's based. But I'm tired of listening to dialogue from boys that were written by wine moms. I'm so tired. Like, I just hear that. Like, wherever I'm at, I'm like, that's the dialogue of a wine mom. That is not a teenage boy. That is not 11, 12-year-old boy talking right there. And That drives me crazy. So if you get past that, it sticks to the story pretty well. I mean, it's not the worst. It doesn't need to be 4 episodes. It's that long because it just shows tons of scenery, and it's kind of actually filmed beautifully. It's got a lot of color and stuff with the area, which color's been one of the things lately. If you notice, like all the new modern movies have this like drab look. I watched Nuremberg movie, and it might as well have just been gray like the whole entire movie. And
no, that's the thing that like there's a million YouTube criticisms of just YouTuber critics talking about like movies look like shit now. And that's even something I've noticed for years, and I was glad to hear that I wasn't crazy.
Yeah,
like,
it's
absolutely they don't look good. Movies don't look good anymore.
Just completely washed out colors, just look terrible. And then the 4K stuff looks kind of over, like their faces look kind of overly too close to you, so it doesn't feel like you're watching a movie. And then the colors are just wiped out and washed, and they don't show anything.
I remember noticing that bad in Ozark. Like the first scene of Ozark, he's sitting there in his office and he's working with a client. And this is before, like, he doesn't even know that his buddies got them in this crime business, right? And he's in his office filling out paperwork with this guy, and the lights are all turned off.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, I was watching that at my friend's house, and I got through half an episode, and I'm like, all the lights are off all the time, even at night. And I know I saw articles on internet of other people noticing that, and the creators are like, well, the movie's themes are dark, or the TV show's themes are dark.
Yeah, the theme.
We thought we'd just make it dark, and it's like, no, I think you're just being hacky, lazy hacks.
Yeah. So to jump off that, this is one of the things I started thinking about. I mentioned it to you guys when I was watching Lord of the Flies, but I kind of thought maybe the whole concept of Lord of the Flies is also wrong. Because I bet you, like, if a bunch of boys were left on a little island to survive for just a few weeks or whatever it is, it wasn't long enough for Piggy to lose weight, so it couldn't have been that long. They'd probably band together. And that's actually kind of what society does. Like, a lot of people I've heard talk about that if an apocalypse happens, Mad Max, there'll be bits and pieces of Mad Max. But actually what humans do is band together and start to civilize much, much more under duress.
Well, yeah, I keep listening to these like Mount Everest terrible stories, and it's always some idiot who goes up there inexperienced, goes past the point where like he or she knows I'm gonna die, but keeps pressing on anyway, and then they become delirious. And some other people who are on their way up the mountain who paid like 50 grand just to do this and are gonna live out their dream of going up the mountain, see this unprepared idiot. They immediately get the person and abandon their goal of summiting Mount Everest and abandon the 50 grand that they spent on this to save the person's life.
Yeah. And that's what happens in times of duress. And it's actually, to go along with like what Alejandro was posting here, what Nietzsche was saying, and actually kind of have a longer clip of it. The Dostoevsky point is that it's kind of takes more peaceful conditions and times to sit around and navel gaze for people to get really nutty.
I've been grinding my way through Walking Dead, and that's one thing early on that kind of bugged me was like, why is everybody they meet a jerk? Yeah. And also remember, like in Red Dwarf, they even like it's a self-referential thing about sci-fi, but in Red Dwarf and one of the later seasons, they even do a self-referential joke where just that like they encounter somebody new and they're mean, and one of the characters just goes, why is nobody ever happy to see us?
Yeah, and I don't think it would be that way. I think apocalyptic times would make humans there would be some of it. Obviously there'd be some of it, but
remember Enemy Mine, grossly underrated movie from the late 80s early 90s, had Louis Gossett Jr. in it, and I forget who. Like it's do you know what I'm talking about?
It rings a bell.
Yeah, like it was a movie. It was like it's kind of movie they don't make anymore, but like it's about humans and some alien race are in a death war forever.
I do remember it now.
And then they get trapped together and like they learn to they save each other. They need each other. And yeah, I just remember that being a good movie.
Well, one of my favorite series before they ruined it with the movie afterwards, kind of like they did with the Sopranos, which it's almost kind of the same thing as everything else we see in the world. The movies were kind of reboots, and so rebooting anything nowadays is stupid and bad. You know what I mean? Because they drop it for 10 years and like, oh boy, we're gonna get a reboot of a finalized movie, and the new movies. Like, I'm dead serious. If you watch Deadwood, the final movie was just a shitty Trump allegory, and it hadn't been that for years. You know what I mean? But then for sure, it's just a shitty Trump allegory, the final movie. But Deadwood, I always loved that series because one of the concepts of it is the wild, wild west, the frontiers, the borderlands, actually kind of generally fictionalized, true story of it, goes from the wild west, crazy, insane towns of outlaws and that sort of thing to civilization. Like across seasons, you watch it go to civilized. That's what it gears towards. But just to talk about Dostoevsky here, this. Why is that not making sound?
The most terrifying idea shared by the Matrix and Fyodor Dostoevsky is not that a perfect society is difficult to achieve, but that even if utopia were created, it would not satisfy us.
Did you know that the first Matrix was designed to be a perfect human world where none suffered, where everyone would be happy?
It sounds like the fulfillment of every moral ambition, but instead produced failure.
It was a disaster. No one would accept the program. Entire crops were lost.
A flawless civilization collapses not because of technical failure, but because the people living inside of it reject it at a level deeper than reason.
Some believed that we lacked the programming language to describe your perfect world, but I believe that as a species, human beings define their reality through misery and suffering. The perfect world was a dream that your primitive cerebrum kept trying to wake up from.
Paradise feels unreal because it removes friction, resistance, and consequence. A life without struggle does not feel like freedom. It feels artificial. Dostoevsky reached the same conclusion long before Machines and Simulations. In Notes from Underground, he imagines a society that has solved the economic and moral problem entirely. Needs are met, comfort is total, and still man rebels, not out of desperation, but out of defiance. As Dostoevsky writes, even when surrounded by happiness, man will, quote, do something nasty solely in order to mix into all this positive good sense his own pernicious fantastical element. He does this, Dostoevsky says, simply to prove that he is, quote, a man and not a piano key. That is the core insight. Human beings would rather act against their own interest than surrender authorship of their lives. To be fully explained, optimized, and managed.
It goes back to that evil psych thing from who's the first evil psych, E.O. Wilson, who said communism is a great idea, wrong species.
Yeah. Is intolerable. Comfort that is imposed feels indistinguishable from external control. Smith understands this.
Every mammal on this planet instinctively develops a natural equilibrium with the surrounding environment, but you humans do not.
He calls humanity a virus. Dostoevsky would reject the contempt, but not the pattern. What Smith calls a defect, Dostoevsky recognizes as will, the refusal to live inside a system that leaves no room for choice, even destructive choice. This is why utopian projects always collapse. They promise happiness, but demand submission. They remove suffering, but also resistance. And when resistance disappears, people invent it, not because they love pain, but because they need proof that their own lives are still their own.
Yeah. Anyway, slop. Any other slop? The boys is still slop. Slop everywhere. Slop.
Got a lot of slop.
We should talk about Mormon slop before Flip's gonna bail.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Mormony slopity. The Church of Scientology trying to infiltrate the CIA in the 1970s. Mormons who already infiltrated the CIA since the 1950s.
I don't get that. Are they just talking about the CIA hires lots of Mormons?
I think they're saying that, but I don't know if the Scientology has been trying to infiltrate it or something.
No. That's real history.
Yeah. So then I think it's just hinting that Mormons have been. I don't think Mormons run the CIA, but they've recruited a bunch of Mormons.
Oh yeah, no.
Why would they want to?
Snow White is a fascinating thing in.
Why would the CIA try to recruit people who naturally have less instances of drug abuse, more stable lives, and have no issue getting a security clearance?
Yeah.
One of my favorite lines in the Coen Brothers and Burn After Reading, like at the start of it, it's what's his name? The bald dude who talks weird. There's a movie about people.
Yeah, I can't think of his name.
There's a whole movie about people becoming him. Anyway, he's just sitting there talking. They're talking. They're gonna get rid of him. Like, we have a problem with you. You're an alcoholic. It's like, you're a Mormon. You don't know what an alcoholic even is. Anyway, is anybody gonna ever tell I mean, we have RFM and those guys pop up enough on here. Jonathan talks to them. Is anybody ever gonna tell John DeLynn about soy face? Is he ever gonna learn? That was this week again. There's the soy face craze right there. That's still just the headline from last week that my actual family read, and they're kind of normies who don't come across anything, and they read this and like, what the heck is that? They thought it was goofy, but I mean, I guess it's getting around, but I don't think it'll have legs to cause a bunch of stuff.
Do you have the clip of John DeLynn talking about how the lawsuit is violence?
I do. You want that one?
Just come on. Like, I get that it's really shitty, and like, I don't know. My biggest beef with the church's lawsuit against DeLynn is like, why now? Like,
Yeah.
That's what makes it lame. Like, you guys could have done this 19 years ago, and then it would have been, you would have had a point. But at this point, come on.
I don't know if I can link. I tried to save it over to my thing, and when I saved it over to mine, it said it's unavailable when I put it on mine. So I'd have to go back to where it was shared to us over in the other chat.
Violence. I mean, it's the syndrome thing from Incredibles. And when everything is violence, nothing.
His message expired.
What?
Am I not able to see it anymore? That's crazy.
Maybe it means he's settled.
Maybe I can't see it. He's settled. Yeah. So he was just on some. He was with Radio West, right? Radio West on NPR.
Oh yeah, Doug Fabrizio,
and he was telling him, "This is violence. This is an act of violence. I feel unsafe. I feel all the stuff he'd say, like the lawyers were listening." You know,
I remember like for a million years ago, I got so annoyed with Doug Fabrizio because he'd interview people, and he'd say, "Talk about that." So you wrote this book about nature and the relationship between your dad, and so talk about that. I'm like, what? That's like the stupidest interview question ever. Talk about that. And then like they were doing, the fundraiser or whatever. And they're like, hey, what about Doug Fabrizio and his excellent catchphrase? Talk about that. And I'm like, no. Somebody should have been telling him, like,
did he
don't
take
say
it down?
talk about that.
He took it down or something.
I wonder.
Maybe he knew that was something that was like pushing or saying something a little too far, or something that got told by lawyers or something. But I don't know if Doug Fabrizio would take it down. But anyway, Daily Wire lays off half its staff, and it became a big thing on the Twitter this week because a lot of people said it was because the Mormons were unsubscribing.
You guys beat him. You really beat him.
Half the people said it's because of their focus on the Jews, and the other half said it's because the Mormons started unsubscribing because of Matt Fradd going after them. But they thought it was a sign of truth of it that Andrew Klavan made this post trying to tell Mormons to calm down, and that I went and watched the Book of Mormon musical. It's just funny, and we're just taking ribs and jabs at each other, and don't take it so seriously. He wrote like a big long think piece on it, and that was right when the layoffs happened. So they took it as a sign that it was proof that it was the Mormons unsubscribing that was actually taking the Daily Wire.
Well, so like, because I looked it up because I was like, what, really? And I don't remember what it was, but I read some news outlet that was talking about it. But like, they pointed out that like, well, the entire industry is downsizing right now. You know, so like you got to factor that into. Like Disney, Netflix, like a bunch of these types of outlets have been downsizing seriously, like web-based entertainment.
Political stuff's always off years too, anyway. And they all said, like, they look at the metrics of all of them. COVID time really was peak listen to YouTube time.
Oh,
and people didn't kind of realize like maybe that was just kind of a COVID era thing. Everybody's out grilling now. not hanging out and watching the Porch Timers. Where's our 10,000 viewers that are usually here? But of course, they go and post the stuff talking about how all the Mormons.
Which one of us?
Everybody hates us.
When it comes to layoffs, who gets fired?
Me. I liked the episode listening to you guys alone. It was nice and concise and funny. I just talk about bullshit. Yeah. There's Jacob saying, imagine if I went to play dedicated to mocking Jewish people as naive dupes, following stupid fairy tales about a murderer named Moses and his baby murdering psycho God. I bet Andrew Clavin would have negative feelings about that. I mean, I think Jacob's right, but I bet you even right there, they said, what's this anti-Semitism you're saying at us here? But
wait, is that a screenshot or are you actually on the?
That's a screenshot. Did you
I was going to tell you to click on the show more because I bet he says, just a reminder, there's better evidence for the Book of Mormon than for like the Old Testament.
Oh, yeah. It's like, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Like, no, there's not.
Yeah, there's only that much more of the sentence.
There's not.
Well, that was, I think they were jumping on that again this week. Just this week, they were jumping on again. Like, look, even Alex O'Connor says there's more evidence for us. And he said it kind of even in a more derogatory way this time. And they still jumped on it because he reviewed the Allie Beth Stuckey thing there. But anyway, a thing went out showing that the Mormons actually do give out a higher percentage of charity than most other organizations. They were top in the charts there. And of course, the ex-Mormons, pointed out by Jonathan, just jumped on, this is because we defunded USAID. So no kudos to Mormons. Why did we cut USAID? This Kai Schwimmer guy, the Republican Groiper, was on Tim Pool saying Groiper-y stuff, I guess, all the way. The debates on the Christianity and the Jesus and all that stuff still going on. There's Jacob pushing and showing Allie Beth conversation with Tim Pool, saying that wanting to get on Tim Pool. What if we saw Jacob on Tim Pool pretty soon? Do you think they'd let him talk about the stuff he'd want to talk about?
Would they really care to talk about Mormonism on Tim Pool?
Tim Pool's one of the worst in the world. Of just you have some new guest on and you get to hear Tim Pool say his same opinions to the new guest.
I know.
How does he have, like, what's his audience?
I don't know. It's me because I listen all the time, but I get frustrated so much.
Dude, I barely can handle him. Like, I maybe listen to an aggregate 4 minutes of Tim Pool per year.
Well, you only have to do that. Like, I have found a way to watch Tim Pool, which I've actually realized I can start doing this with Dave Smith talking about the Iran war too.
Yeah.
Iran war. But I can turn on his podcast episode and I can click forward every kind of 3 minutes and listen to 10 seconds, 3 minutes. I can get through the whole 2 hours and I didn't miss a dang thing. I heard the whole entire thing of what was going on and I got the gist of what.
Well, you can do that. You can do that to a lesser extent with Matt Walsh. I've realized a lot of it is that they have a certain amount of time they're supposed to fill instead of just. So Matt Walsh, he'll only have like 3 minutes worth of something to say about a subject. And then he'll just beat it into the dust because it's his main story, and his main story has to last a half hour. And yeah, it's kind of wild how much you can do that. I actually kind of did that. That's exactly how I watched Lord of the Flies too. But you can sit and watch the pretty scenes if you want to watch it. But maybe I do that with too many things in the world. But that's beyond just going double speed and triple speed sometimes now, which I still can't Shapiro at triple speed. I try, but I can't. But I can everybody else almost now. But yeah, you can charge through stuff. I missed Charles's comment earlier that he said he watched what was it? Dead Poet Society, and it's crazy how dumbed down the language in the movies. That's when I watched the Nuremberg movie, and that was the movie. And that movie, it must have been written like a 10-year-old who just read World War II history. Like the way they talk and says, we really need a new world order. We need some international law. But the Nazis are bad. That's why we need this law to make it binding. I'm like, what is this shit? Anyway. So continuing arguments, we just listened earlier today of Joseph, of Jacob. It was so quick before this. It was one of the last things I listened before this. He went on a debate with that Christianity something, whatever. And
that's not going to narrow down a podcast for anybody. But to try to argue for Joseph Smith polygamy not being libidinous, how did they say it? Not being
continuing Christianity.
It wasn't based on libido. That's Brian Hale's thing. To say that Joseph Smith had a high libido, that's just to not know Joseph Smith at all.
Yeah, and he had to make that whole argument. Christopher, the dragon who does Christopher was saying to us that, because we were saying, like, I'm glad I don't have to try to like make those arguments anymore. But I actually kind of think like maybe not making those arguments, like just being like taken like a Nietzschean or like, yeah, he did for women, doesn't negate any other stuff, whatever, type of stuff might be like a better line than just trying to act like it was just pure benevolence. But I don't know.
Well, it's like every Catholic I've ever talked to. If you tell them something fucked up that a Pope did, they'll be like, oh yeah, that guy was a piece of shit.
I mean, you're able to say it about David in the Bible, right? David in the Bible wasn't less of a prophet because he became lustful or something like that. Like, can't you just like take that line?
You'd think
you could even say that he got the revelation but went too far with it or something. I don't know. I just listening to Jacob knows, because he refused to accept a debate at the end of it. He says you have to have conversations because you have to contextualize everything so much, and it's so much contextualizing that you contextualize under the sun. That's where it becomes almost Foucauldian again of who's to say, what's to say type stuff. I would hate to try to walk that high wire, because then you also have to come down on the polygamy deniers and that sort of stuff. So I get into these debates with the Montreal Screwjob affirmers versus the Montreal Screwjob deniers. That's a wrestling thing. Was it a work or was it a shoot? Was it I'm a denier, I'm an affirmer? Oh, screw you, man. I have to walk the line of saying it was both a screwjob and a shoot and never mind. And stop using anti-Mormon language. What is this from? Like, this is just them getting more into stuff about who's Christian and who's not Christian. Instead of Mormons believe in a different Jesus, say, I don't understand LDS theology. Instead of Mormons believe Jesus is a created being, say, I don't understand LDS theology.
Okay, but like if I corner that, I want to
really weak.
I know. I want to ask because, like, yeah, we talked about this, and everybody pretty much said, yeah, the first and the last one are bullshit. And I would say, what was the other one? Maybe that was. But yeah, Mormons believe Jesus is a created being. I mean, okay, that's the one. Is you could say they don't believe that because they don't believe that any of us are created, but they believe that Jesus is exactly as created as we are.
They believe Mormons Jesus' brother, right? I mean, I
always
Satan's
thought
brother.
That. Yeah, of course they're brother. They're like,
and I was actually kind of surprised that Jacob wanted, and I guess it's not just him that wanted to dance around that so much around Ellie Beth Stuckey. Like,
how do you dance around it? Like, God had two sons, and one of his sons was like, "Give me all the glory," and then his other son was, "Glory be to you." Like, how would they not be brothers if they're both his sons? Mormons
but is it just dancing around it because you don't want to give the meat before the milk? Is that the only reason you're dancing around? Because I mean, yeah, they just believe. We just believe that, right? They just
then it's Mormons believe they are saved by works. You can get into some weaselly gay apologetic dumb words to be like, well, no, we all have salvation through the atonement of Christ, but we achieve exaltation through works. They probably wouldn't even say through works, but yeah, you believe when you're a Mormon, you got to do some shit to get your eternal reward. Mormons believe they will be gods of their own planets. Well, I don't know that we teach that, but you do.
Yeah,
Mormons believe only Mormons can go to heaven. Well, the super heaven, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as much as Mormons believe in heaven, okay.
The bottom of heaven is as good as what I think Christians think heaven is. I think that's
like most Christian denominations say we're the one. If you're not believing what we believe, then you don't go to heaven. Like, that's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't get like why everything needs to be contextualized now. Like, why can't you say some of the stuff plainly? Is it just because you have to give milk before meat on internet, or you get hammered? Is it internet speak? Is it internet? you're not allowed to be playing on the internet. I don't know. I think that's goofy. Anyway, RFM and Colby did like a whole review of the Allie Beth Stuckey thing, and they obviously just kind of like wanted to drill into that Jacob was dancing around the stuff, which is something we said, but I don't know. Flip, you served at an English mission. Did you guys like have to dance? Do you ever make like actual Bible bashers? And
oh yeah,
I never met an actual Bible basher, but did you have to dance around stuff like that, or did you just say it?
Well, again, because like I had that kind of unique Mormon upbringing where my dad told me all of the stuff that women go on John DeLitt and say, I didn't learn this until I was 43. My dad told me all that by the time I was 8.
Yeah.
And also like just kind of my nature that like, I kind of had already thought, and from my dad and my uncles and stuff, I'd kind of thought my ways through it. But also like this whole thing, like, like I've been, we've been talking about making fun of this thing. It's like when they're like, Joseph Smith was a turd. Like, yeah, well, so was David. What's your point?
I know.
And like, I mean, I said it in the group. I still remember very specifically, like we were Bible bashing very, very nicely, like very polite Bible bashing. There was like an evangelical Longbeard that we were talking to. Like we were in his basement and he had, 10 million books. And I remember talking to him and like he made a lot of really good points. And he, because I remember I kind of did my testimony of the Book of Mormon. I'm like, well, this book changed my life. It's a really good book. It teaches me all this good stuff. And he's like, well, I have a friend down the street. He's a Muslim. He says all the exact same things about the Quran. I'm like, that's an interesting point. But then also like, I remember riding my bike away from this house and over the next few days thinking about it. I'm like, man, a lot of his arguments were really bad, but they're the same arguments I use. Right. And then like, and that really was like, that was one of the major points of like, in my like loss of faith was like, yeah, like we're all, the whole thing's like, when you get into Bible bashing, you're just sawing off the branch you're sitting on, like constantly, whenever you do that stuff, like, well, your church has failed prophecy. Okay. Like,
That's
who
what,
doesn't, like
that's what Jacob calls arguing like an atheist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
we all have nukes. Let's not use them.
Well, I was thinking about this, like when they talk about arguing like an atheist, it means having an evidentiary standard that you apply evenly to everyone. That's what arguing like an atheist is.
Yeah. They feature Jacob's Alibaba thing in the Deseret News. Hey.
Dude,
he's making waves,
so
man.
happy.
Making the waves. Then he had a blow up with this on Thomas Aquinas on Twitter. He said, just so Catholics also believe, like Latter-day Saints, that polygamy can be justified in some context. St. Thomas Aquinas said in the Summa, it would seem that not all against natural law to save several wives. Man, did I cut off again? For custom does not prejudice the law of. And then a bunch of people pointed out that Aquinas was actually saying that that's the opposite.
Yeah, like he's doing the Socratic thing where he sets up the case that he's going to argue against.
Yeah, so they all lost it, and
whoopsie doodles.
He wouldn't delete it or take it down or anything. Maybe he did by now or something. But
I hope
15 hours
so.
ago, bro quoted St. Thomas Aquinas objections as if it were his argument and left out the objection number for some reason. I don't know, but I mean, you win some, you lose some. He's gaining ground, losing ground, gaining ground, losing.
I
ground.
should have jumped on that Jacob train when I had the chance.
Yeah, you could be a top something or other by now.
I know. He did that thing where he's like, hey, if you want to make some videos for me, you can do that. I don't know that I'd have anything to say that you'd love.
Yeah.
Well, I see. Wait a second. Was there something before that? Oh, Jonathan had a AI make a thing of like who is like the most risky channels from the AI. Talking Mormon is After Dark. Bill Real apologized and donated to a charity to atone for using the phrase "off the reservation" during an episode. Adult mature content in Mormonism.
That's so embarrassing.
Porch time. The Porch Time Bros laughed at Corky and called him a retard for singing "Fight the Power" from an episode of Life Goes On. No apology has been issued. Though Chris said he loves retards and has donated to Divas Lazarus and Jacob Hansen. So it's almost and you want to know what? Ours is more magnanimous and genuine. We didn't want Corky to make a fool of himself with that rap. We don't think he's a retard. We think singing "Fight the Power" is retarded.
Yeah.
And I love donating to retarded influencers. I was kidding.
Some of my favorite people are retards.
Mine too.
Like that Shane Gillis, his opening monologue on SNL once when he's talking about his retarded niece, and like this one he was like, "Dude, she's the happiest person I know," and everybody laughs. He's like, "She's not worried about the election," and everybody laughs even harder. But like that really is like yeah, it's kind of like that would be so nice. Like that is kind of enviable. Like
I get envious of like how I didn't care about stuff when I was a kid all the time. All the time. One uses the concept of offensive content to appear controversial and pretend to push limits. The other one just is and does. They are not the same. One gets more of an audience, though. It's autism versus non-autism. There was a whole review last night of the GER debate and all that stuff. I don't know if I want to get into all that because it was just a fallacy fest again. Fallacy. And then not notice when you yourself use fallacies. Maybe we'll come back to that or something. Richard Dawkins thinks Claude is conscious.
Is really?
So they're
is that like not taken out of context?
Not taken out of context. He's saying it. If he was a 6 out of 7 atheist, he's a 6 out of 7. Claude is conscious.
Wow. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, I don't think he'd say 7 out of 7.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so they're calling it the Claude delusion all over the internet there.
That's a good name for that.
Here's something I never knew that I think I might find amusing, kind of amusing, kind of.
Maybe a little bit fun to learn about.
Is it time for learning?
It's time for learning a thing you maybe never knew, or maybe you did know. Flip knows all stuff.
It was also where Dangerfield eloped with his second wife, Joan Child. A rather fitting name because she was actually 40 years younger than Dangerfield. The pair had actually met a decade prior when, after a period of walking past her flower shop every single day and stopping to watch her arrange flowers, Dangerfield finally broke the ice by asking her, "What kind of drugs do you like?" And he was drawn to her by her answer of antibiotics, I guess. Which is the most Mormon answer to that question that I've ever heard. But Dangerfield seemed particularly drawn to Joan for having absolutely nothing to do with the vice and degeneracy that showbiz must have surrounded him with. As Joan recalled, he thought I was the squarest person and replied, "What planet are you from?" Well, that is an excellent question because as a Mormon, Joan would have some very interesting views about planets. But anyway, Joan was instantly smitten with Dangerfield, and after a decade-long courtship, they married in Vegas. And eloping must have been a real spur-of-the-moment decision because Joan painted a rather unserious picture of Dangerfield, considering how big of a moment they were about to have when she said, "He started smoking marijuana in the limo." And I wasn't sure how serious he was, but he went through with it.
Mormon girls a whole lot more go when you're a rich, famous person.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. This little anecdote begs the question, do contact highs count for Mormons? But thanks to Joan, Dangerfield became one of the first comedians to have a website in 1995. Since Mormons are very tech savvy and even better.
Mormon women, man, Mormon women. What if they all just ran to church? I mean, we started out trashing women. Now here we are saying they're the savior of Rodney Dangerfield.
Or at promotion. Dangerfield had the idea when he said, "I thought to myself, what's the newest thing out today? And computers are it."
So I asked my wife to check into it, and I got my own website. I figured it's the future thing. Call me crazy, but I think he might have been onto something. The website featured a joke of the day randomly selected from a massive bank that Dangerfield had assembled over the years. But having them posted digitally showed that with his style, the man would have absolutely fucking killed it on Twitter. There was also a page on the website for making orders from Jones Flower Shop, which is really nice. And
yeah,
I know, like, one thing with him that, like, all the comedians talk about is, like, he didn't get famous until he was, like, in his 50s already.
Yeah.
Like, he was a very late comedic bloomer.
I mean, that's a good Count Dankula entire episode on his whole life,
Huh.
what he went
Yeah,
through.
I saw that, but I didn't watch it.
He actually started in comedy when he was young, and he quit because he wasn't doing so well, and then spent 20 years just doing shit jobs and hated his life and all that stuff, and then got back into it, and that's where he took off.
Well, I saw a little clip kind of similar of Nils Klein.
What?
About Nils Klein, where he said, like, he was talking about, like, I was almost 50 and, like, music was going nowhere. I was driving back from a gig and, like, was thinking, like, I have to get a job. I'm going to have to get some other just day job, you know, running a cash register or something, when he got a call from Jeff Tweedy. Like, yeah, which I didn't know, like, but, like, you know, because, you know, they always said, like, he was a jazz guitar player. And, like, I assumed that he, like, had a career as a guitar player. But, like, yeah, no, he was just a struggling musician. And then Jeff Tweedy asked him to join Wilco, and that made his career. But, like, yeah, I should find it and send it to you.
Yeah, I just Googled it and it said that it's true. It didn't have the exact quote. That's awesome, though.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, he's...
It could still happen for me. It could still happen. I actually don't really believe that, but it's happening enough. Like we got a strange big following in Carbon County, which is why we keep going back there every 3 months and all through
Really?
Grand Junction and all through. Yeah, it's so weird.
Oh, Carbon County, Colorado?
Yeah, like all through the Moab down through that area.
Wow.
And we play in Colville and Fruta and Grand Junction.
The marijuana belt.
Yeah. It's like it's a weird hippie area of what used to be minor area, and now it's weird retired hippies who all own stuff that they can Airbnb and all that sorts of stuff. And they come out and they like stuff, and then I don't know, we get stuff like out through Dinosaur. We have like this weird Midwest kind of thing going on, which is fine. That's fine enough, good enough. Salt Lake's actually where it's hard. It's not hard to do kind of country stuff in the little outskirts out around here. But
there's one episode of Louie that I really liked when, like, was it Joan Collins? But, like, he's playing like a shitty casino or something, and he's like, I hate taking these jobs, and, like, Joan Collins lectures him about, like, work is work, man. Like, you take the job.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's a lot of fun to go do those, and there's people come out and they know us, and they come out again and again. There's some guys who play harmonica who follow us around and show up, and we let them jump on stage and harmonica it up and all that.
Do you have some what's the euphemism for banjo babes?
Yeah,
Like,
not a tooth between them. But yeah, those banjo babes, they might not have the #1 vagina in the world, like biohacker Brian Johnson's girlfriend here.
That's a nice segue.
But their mouth is just like her vagina because there's no teeth and nose. I'm just kidding.
There's a movie about that. It's called Teeth.
Really?
Yep.
Is that I saw that floating around. Is
there a movie about, like, because, like, I'm mad because, like,
she has
when
teeth in her vagina.
that's right.
I can't watch that.
Because since I was a kid, I wanted to make a mockumentary about the Osmonds, and it was going to be called Teeth, the Osmond story.
Teeth.
Because they all have those giant smiles. Like,
oh gosh.
The oldest Osmond died a couple weeks ago.
Which one?
The oldest Osmond.
Oh, that's
yeah.
I was going to say that because on my mission, this is my 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon Chris attached to Mormon 3rd tier celebrity stuff. One of the Osmonds was on my mission. He was in my zone. The Osmonds kids, and it pissed us all off at the time. I'm sure they do it all the time nowadays. But I think that exact Osmond got to come down, and he got to like take off for a month vacation with his parents in the middle of the mission. Yes.
My brother was in the MTC when David Archuleta was there. Did you know that David Archuleta is gay?
Is he gay?
He's gay. He's one of the ones that my dad, his gaydar is 100% still, because my mom and sister were just watching American Idol and they're like, oh, this guy's so cool. My dad's like, he's gay. What? No, he isn't. He's Mormon. Okay, but he's gay. And they're like, why do you always say that? You're so mean. Like, I'm not being mean. He's just gay. Sure enough.
Yeah.
Which that one wasn't difficult though.
So I have this video that's been making the rounds, and I guess this channel, Justin Hart Dude, I think this little video might set Flip off a bit, maybe not.
Through downtown Salt
This is all the rave on Twitter.
Lake City, you will see the bees. They are carved into bronze doorknobs, etched into the granite of historic buildings, and stamped onto the state seal. Everyone knows the beehive is the symbol of Utah. Almost no one knows why. The symbol system traces back to 1849, when pioneers proposed a new state to the federal government. They named it Deseret.
Everything is now.
But the word didn't originate with the pioneers. 20 years earlier, in 1829, a 23-year-old farm boy named Joseph Smith dictated it while translating the Book of Mormon. The text described an ancient migration and noted that the travelers carried Deseret, a term the book translated as a honeybee. In 1829, there was no one in America who could read Egyptian hieroglyphs. The first major dictionaries and grammars of the language would not be available in English for another several decades. This leaves the claim in a vacuum. Either the word was a 19th century invention, or it was a correct translation of an ancient term that would not be deciphered by scholars for nearly 100 years.
That's Reformed Egyptian.
A century later,
so you're totally off base here, lady.
Yeah, no, that's like, even for AI, this is sloppy.
It's a totally different language, Reformed Egyptian.
Yeah.
As Egyptologists began to map the sacred vocabulary of the pharaohs, they identified a word used in the royal titulary. This word, deshert, was associated with the Red Land and the crown of Lower Egypt. In the deepest stratum of Egyptian theology, the red crown was linked to a primordial goddess, whose original symbol was the honeybee. By the New Kingdom, the original word for bee had become restricted, reserved only for the divine. In formal sacred language,
Definitely
the term
AI,
deshert began
because
to
she keeps showing pictures of a fucking wasp every time she says honeybee.
Well, I think they're all made by that Jonathan Hart guy, because he's making a bunch of these videos, and all the Twitter Mormons are loving them.
Why don't you get the right fucking animal then?
for the insect. The phonetic pronunciation.
Oh, did you see my name? I'm Boxer the Tapir. That's Boxer the horse from Animal Farm. What was your guys' names anyway?
Gangel Studios.
Gangel. Oh yeah, you're on it. And then top atheist apologist.
Every Friday, I'm like, I got to start thinking of a name for next Thursday, and then
I don't think of mine until 15 seconds before.
Yeah, no, I do the same thing, but I don't do a good job at it.
I just texted to Morgan.
I still haven't topped generic brand autistic.
Yeah. I think
whatever.
my crowning was when we did Bill Reel telling kids to do shrooms. I called myself a pediatric psychedelictician.
Ryan noticed, I can't talk about Candace Owens, knows that what the beehives really means to Mormons. Yeah, Candace Owens been going off on like the beehive stuff is a hint that we're all secret communists around here in Utah.
I mean, what? Did somebody tell her about the United Order?
I don't think they tell her about very much. This week she kept saying synchronicity, like there's a strange synchronicity going on. Like again and again and again. Like I lose my mind hearing it.
The whole podcast of her mispronouncing words. You could make a whole podcast of her just of mispronouncing words.
I want to retire from listening to her. Like, I mean,
I don't know how you do it. Like, I've listened to 0.none of Candace Owens.
I can't put it down because I feel like, but she says so much nothing so often. She's been on this huge like Darvo thing saying that the Daily Wire has been harassing and haunting her since she left. And I'm like, what are you? All your whole thing is just going around and harassing everybody that you've left from. Like,
is she still like the biggest podcast?
Yeah, it's huge. And I've had this idea of making like a Sherlock Holmes series where he stops his investigation halfway through to throw shade on all his old employers for a month before, like, I was going to do more investigation today, but first I need to talk about what a dickbag Mr. G's I used to work for was. He's such a dickbag. and because it's just been like weeks and weeks and weeks of talking like all this drama and saying that I have to pause the investigation just to talk about this stuff. Like, okay, so the investigation,
of that substitute word is Deseret. Long after the 1829 claim was published.
Oh, but I had that thing of that other gal. What's her name? I'll pull her up, but she was on about a thing of like finding out that Tyler Boyer helped in the creation of TPUSA, so he must be controlling Donald Trump. Did you watch that video at all? I showed it to you guys though.
No.
Modern linguistics confirmed that Deseret was the
I told her of like, I think in the comments I said, of all the overstated videos in history, this is the overstatedest.
precise ancient proxy word for the sacred honeybee. In 1835, 6 years after dictating the word, Joseph Smith purchased a collection of authentic Egyptian funerary papyri from a traveling exhibition. He could not read the text. The scrolls were kept as curiosities until they were largely lost in the 1871 Chicago fire. A few fragments, however, survived and were rediscovered in a museum a century later. Translated by modern scholars, the largest fragment proved to be an ancient ritual text called the Book of Breathings. Its coronation passage describes the deceased remaining on a throne in the Holy Land, the deshert. The hieroglyph used to write deshert here is a bee. Smith had spent years holding an ancient Egyptian papyrus that contained the very word he had already translated as honeybee, though he lived his entire life without the means to decode it. Beyond Egypt, the linkage between bees and sacred migration appears across several ancient cultures. In the Maya Book of Chilim Balam, the settling of the land is described as a movement led by two gods in the form of large bees, directing swarms in each of the 4 cardinal directions. In Hebrew, the word Zebariah literally means bee swarms, but it is also the linguistic idiom for a large group of people in migration. The 1829 text didn't just provide a vocabulary word, it employed a cross-cultural mythological framework that connects bees to the sacred movement of populations. There is one final check. In the study of historical forgery, what an author leaves out is often as revealing as what they include. The travelers in the Book of Mormon carried the bees during their overland trek, but when the text lists the cargo for their ocean voyage to the New World, the bees are missing from the list. This omission matches the ecological record. Modern natural history confirms that the honeybee was absent from the pre-Columbian Americas, only arriving with 17th century colonists. The beehives on the Utah state capitol and the state seal are the modern end of this thread. They represent a point where the dictation of an unschooled farm boy in 1829 correctly anticipated the findings of modern Egyptology, ancient mythology, and natural history.
So, like E.O. Wilson said, it is the right species. We're the right species. We are just like the bees. We can be communism like the bees and make Candace Owens right. Speaking of those types of biologists, what do you call them? Evolutionary biologists and evolutionary psych people. Do you guys know? Have you heard of David Sloan Wilson?
I don't think so.
No.
He's kind of a famous one. He used to pop up on Gad Sad's show all the time, but then they had a falling out over Donald Trump. And I think he was like an advisor to Brett Weinstein and all that stuff. Well, guess who he is the father of?
What?
He is the father
Patrick
of
Warburton.
Patrick Warburton. He is the father of the Seattle communist mayor.
Oh.
Yeah,
Jeez.
so Gad Sad and Brett, they didn't know that until they just found out, and when they found it out, they're like, "What the fuck?" Yeah,
Yeah, like how did she get elected?
I don't know. She's the
I
one
guess
that
she-
everybody said like never had a job and lives off her parent. The parent she's living
Yeah.
off of was David Sloan Wilson, a famous evolutionary psychologist.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I just watched AJW was talking about her she wants to turn off police cameras.
Oh, yeah.
In part because they recently caught 2 Somali guys beating a 7-year-old man nearly to death or something. And then she's like, they might be used by ICE. You know, and it's like, it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, so you're literally just announcing that if ICE is in town, criminals, this is your moment. All the cameras are off. It's a free-for-all.
Yeah.
Like, your chances of getting caught just went down by 90% because of your communist mayor.
Blue Meanie says, okay, it's the missing vowel explanation thing. Yeah.
So I looked it up. I mean, I'm just looking at the Wikipedia. There's nothing in this about the bee. That Deshret means the red one. Like literally, Deshret means red one. And it refers to the crown of Upper Egypt. Or no, sorry, crown of Lower Egypt. But like, I've been looking through this article and there's not a single reference to a bee or a bug or anything. So I don't know what that is. But also like Deshret, Deseret, like when you're just making up words, there's, you know, you're going to hit it sometimes, even though that's not even fully a hit. It's only kind of a hit. because that's one of those things.
Yeah, I
where
mean,
it's like-
it does make some problems with like the tight or loose translation stuff too, right?
Yeah, but also like when they do this thing, like like just like that, where like, okay, if he was getting the stuff from God, why didn't he transliterate it with the sh sound instead of or with the s sound instead of the sh? Like, how does that make sense if he's getting this stuff from God? Like,
yeah.
Like English has that noise, so it makes sense. Like, when in English transliterations of Arabic, like Arabic has like 6 noises that we just call a ka, because like we just don't have the right letters,
Yeah. Well, here that is.
It is not a completely unknown fact that she is the daughter of David Sloan Wilson, something that I would not have even thought to wonder about, but you called my attention to it. And
so who's an evolutionary biologist?
He's an evolutionary biologist. I will say I know him slightly. We have not met in person, but we've had several conversations. I actually quite like David Sloan Wilson, and I think there's an element of his work that is exceptionally good. But he's most famous for his revival of a concept called group selection, based on the idea that altruism pays in a much more general sense than evolutionary biologists typically believe. And in that context, it is fascinating that his daughter has become the mayor of Seattle and seems to have picked up the same misunderstanding, which is now being manifest in policy. Once upon a time, there was an idea in evolutionary biology called group selection, most famously associated with a biologist named Wynne Edwards. So the idea starts out with a correct observation. The correct observation is that if you take 2 groups, let's say that they're people, you take 2 groups of people that are similar, but for one characteristic. One of the groups is altruistic within the group with the other members, and the other group is fractious and fights within the members, and you put them in competition. The group that is altruistic, in which everybody collaborates and doesn't think about their own take, that group outcompetes the fractious group every time. That much is true. But the idea that therefore we should expect to see altruism break out, that groups that are being altruistic should be favored everywhere, and so it should be a very common observation, that was debunked. I hate using that word, but that was debunked by a group of very insightful biologists in the mid to late 20th century. And their argument was the problem is the individual within the group of altruists who is at greatest advantage is the selfish individual, that a cheater who takes advantage of the altruism of the other members of his group, but does not contribute by being altruistic himself, is the most successful within the group of altruists. So every group of altruists is torn apart by basically cheaters. And it is exactly the misunderstanding of socialists who expect this, we all pull together and come out ahead ideology to work. And it doesn't, because in the end, the mistake is always the same. Socialism and communism punish those who are productive and reward those who are lazy.
Oh, so he's just talking about Lord of the Flies there. If I watched Lord of the Flies, you guys have seen it, right? Or watched the old one or read the book at all?
I mean, I watched the movie back in the day, but
you don't know anything. So there's Piggy.
They crash on an island and they have to govern themselves, and it gets brutal, right?
Yeah, it gets brutal. And then, of course, the ones who are able to catch the meat and become tribalistic and join together start taking over the magnanimous communal ones or something like that. And the thumbnail that I have on this is Piggy from it. Piggy's the fat little kid with the conch going, "We need to have order here. We need to have order. The little ones need caring for, and the little ones, you got to watch the little ones, and the little ones are pooing in the pool." I was sitting there watching, especially as I was watching this movie, I was like, if you're like Patton Oswalt watching this saying that guy is Trump, he's such, the guy who takes over the tribe and goes, he's such a Trump guy, that's a Trump. But do you vision yourself as Piggy? Like, are you Piggy? You know, are you the guy saying, we got to think of the little ones, and I can't work because I've got bad eyes and I got the asthma. But we must think of the little ones. You know, like, is that who you are viewing yourself as in the situation there? Because like part of it kind of makes me feel Nietzschean and say, yeah, go ahead and kill Piggy. Shut up, Piggy. You know?
Quit, Piggy.
Get him in the head with a rock. Sorry, I'm spoiling it. It's a really good book, but I'm just kidding. They should have listened to Piggy. Anyway,
Piggy knew it was
Flip.
up.
Oh, this is
I
the
got it going, but yeah.
This is our favorite gal saying that
After your kids are in school, so many. I'm Jenny Gage, and this is Life.
Oh God.
Take Two. Hi, thanks for watching. I know there's a lot of great stuff out there on YouTube. I can't even get all the facts in this. I'm sincerely grateful when you stop on one of my videos. Turning Point USA is Mormon, and Donald Trump is a puppet in the hands of the Mormon Church. I can't even get all the facts in this video.
Oh wow.
it's like Candace on crack because she takes all the Candace. I can't sit there and listen to it. It's like 27 minutes, but I have a secondary part that you'll surely like.
We're doing it. This isn't in my script, but I feel like we should spend a minute on Mormon swingers because Secret Lives of Mormon Wives has definitely brought this like into the forefront, and people are so confused on why Mormons, which are this purity religion where before marriage is a sin and you can go to hell for doing it.
You can say sex
and
on
adultery
YouTube.
and things like that.
Okay?
They're also sins. You will burn in Mormon hell, which is called the Celestial Kingdom, for all of eternity. So why would Mormons be swingers? I literally could not list
Mormons
how
are
many
swingers.
of my friends and family were swingers.
Lies.
It was such a big deal when I lived in Northeast Mesa myself. I
It's
had so many
ex-Mormons who
friends who
become
just like
swingers.
spouse
What
swap.
the fuck?
I don't know. I do not know any Mormons who are swingers. I know a bunch of ex-Mormons who started down.
Yeah.
I mean, you could
What I think
probably
there are
find
is-
some. But
I think
she's
there
like,
are Mormons that are philanderers. I
Yeah.
think there's Mormon cheaters. I don't think there's a lot of Mormon swingers. I don't
Yeah,
think
so
there's
she just overstates the hell out of that.
Yeah.
holy shit.
Yeah.
Gosh, she's
It's all
awful.
because there's like all these rumors that Tyler Boyer was a swinger, which maybe he is. That's the guy who's the Mormon in TPUSA. And because he's a Mormon, he's the one that Candace jumps off of. He's the one that she jumps off of and goes all the way to that guy who's actually just kind of a background, I don't know, accountant guy for TPUSA is what controls the entirety of the USA and TPUSA and Donald Trump. Flip, you want to talk before you go, just to tell you the stuff you could talk about? You're missing the Met Gala. You're missing.
I was gonna go at 9. I'm already at 4.
The JP Morgan scandal. You know
I don't know about JP Morgan scandal. What was that?
You don't know the JP Morgan scandal?
No. What happened?
Oh my goodness!
Did they steal money?
Oh no. And
No.
Are
you
they
know
all
about the
women or
JP
are
Morgan
they-
scandal, Jared?
I don't think so.
You guys don't know about this?
Is this something that happened in the last week?
Yeah.
Lawsuit was filed in New York this week alleging that an executive
Oh.
JP Morgan turned one of her employees into an intercourse slave.
He's not to spoil it because they don't know it yet in this video.
Dude, my city council member
He's
is-
an Indian. He's an Indian banker.
Oh, jeez.
But what are you saying?
I was gonna say the Ava Lopez, my city council member, that's in trouble for sexual assault, is probably watching him going like, "Oh, that's what I should have done."
Any of the
That's how you
actions
do that.
This one's it's so funny.
Sucking her toes. JP Morgan is standing with their employee and saying that the employee that filed the lawsuit did not cooperate properly with HR after filing a complaint. Glamorous JP Morgan exec accused of turning married male broker into her office slave. Claims of obscene forced acts that made him cry, and also she was spiking his drink with drugs like Viagra because he allegedly couldn't get hard for her. Hajdini, allegedly, she's Albanian, be careful, allegedly ordered him to suck her toes, pushed him to the ground, and sat on his face, berating him when he was unable to sustain arousal. Hajdini has been at JP Morgan for 14 years.
She's been an executive director since February 2021. The lawsuit also accuses JPMorgan Chase of enabling the alleged abuse and retaliating against the banker after he reported it, claiming the firm placed him on involuntary leave, destroyed his reputation, and allowed threats against him to continue while Hajdini and others went unpunished. There are some pretty unbelievable quotes in this. Doe said in complaint that Hajdini invited him out for drinks, but he declined. In response, she allegedly said, "If you don't F me soon, I'm going to ruin you. Never forget, I effing own you." According to the lawsuit, Hajdini said, "Do you want to get promoted at the end of the year or not? Do you want a future at JP Morgan? It's that simple. I don't know why you're fighting this." Hajdini then alleged
there's a full lawsuit, and there's like a thing in there of him saying to her,
baby, you know you like it.
Her saying to him, "Come on, don't you want these cannons?" Talking about her.
Oh yeah. What was it? Your Asian. I bet your
fish
head Asian wife doesn't have these cannons.
Yeah.
Why is the YouTube algorithm not showing me the story?
I bet your fish head Asians wife doesn't have these cannons.
You know what Adam Carolla would say to this?
What?
We need more women in positions of power.
Being fun.
But I mean, she's like cute looking, and it's like the whole internet went crazy. Like, give me a job at JP Morgan now. Like,
handling her breasts and racially insulted Doe's wife, remarking, "I bet your little Asian fish head wife doesn't have these."
This is in a lawsuit.
Do you know how
this
many?
Is all fake. Unbelievable writing.
What's that?
Do you know how many?
Thing where
do you know how many Indian sex pests online are just like seething with jealousy hearing this story?
This is the guy.
Why Bob and Vagine cannot happen to me?
He said that she'd go to his house and like enslave him at his house while his wife was in the other room and stuff like that.
Jeez. I did see the thing, Nate the lawyer today about what's his name? Something Diggs, like wide receiver for Patriots lost a $70 million contract.
Yeah,
because his professional full-time chef accused him of sexual assault.
Wait, I don't know this one. What's this?
What's his name?
Trying to strangle her.
Like all kinds of stuff. She accused him of all kinds of stuff, and it went to trial. He was acquitted. She completely lost all credibility on cross-examination. It came out that she lied, and her lawyer, through her lawyer, she tried to extort him for $5.5 million. And there's I can't remember how the testimony came out, but this will all go away for $5.5 million.
Yeah,
but it's just another one of those cases where guy was totally innocent, lost his NFL career over it.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs.
Did you hear that stuff was all going backwards
Diggs.
on the BYU receiver? The BYU receiver. It turns
heard
out
a little bit about
saying
that.
a bunch of stuff.
Does he get his career back?
No.
Hell no. Well, Stephon Diggs has a shot.
That's his name, Stephon Diggs. Yeah,
he was like really fucking good. He was like their first draft pick, and he was kind of turning it around for the Patriots. But man, watching her on the stand, because in the cross examination, the lawyer asked, did your lawyer say to him for $5 million this all goes away? And she says, it's attorney-client privilege. I don't think I can speak on that.
And the prosecutor's
the judge is like, you can fucking speak on it.
Well, yeah, the prosecutor's like, you believe that communications your lawyer made to Stephon Diggs is covered under attorney-client privilege? And she's like, I can't answer that. No, she got caught lying. I mean, it's one of those things where it's such a nakedly obvious shakedown. So not only was there never any evidence at all, because there was no evidence at all, it should never have gone to trial. How do these cases go to trial? Well, and the fact is, men have gone to prison on the basis of just testimony.
No, did you guys watch this one? I sent you guys one this week. There was a video of this guy talking about how he's innocent and he's going to prison. He's in Canada. He was talking about some of the reasons he was not allowed to show texts that showed counter evidence, which is what the BYU player showed, texts of that girl bragging to friends and going around and saying that, things were consensual. This guy had the same evidence, but in Canada, after the Django Meshi trial, they did all sorts of new laws and new rules, new C-16, whatever bills that they did up there to say that you couldn't admit text messages like that in court that would exonerate. And so
Oh
he
my
goes into
God.
detail about that. And then it was the situation where he was talking about, he was filming, and in the filming, he was trying to film her consent, a consent video. And the judge said the consent video was proof of a rape. And
Oh, jeez, it's so Orwellian. Like, because this thing, when I was thinking about the Stefan Diggs thing,
and he's going to prison for 3 years. And
like-
Todd Grande reviewed it, and he said this guy's innocent.
Yeah, but I was thinking about this, like, you know, if a woman is walking down the street from her job at night to her car, and she is violently sexually assaulted, and after that she is afraid of men, I say, yeah, that makes sense. I don't blame her at all. But like, if Stefan Diggs is like, I'm not hiring women ever again to work for me,
Yeah.
is he an evil sexist?
Well, that's why I
You
said
know,
after
like-
these guys, like these guys, you have a famous YouTube channel. That's what that guy had. And so he met the girl. Like, if you have any level of fame, if you're a BYU player or this guy, you got to wait till marriage, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
No, and even
hover
that's
hand
not a guarantee of anything.
No, that's true.
Like, no, that's you know, I don't know. Like, I
Well,
think he
Stefan
might have
Diggs
gone,
didn't even have sex with her.
like that. Oh yeah, no, totally. But like, you know, when David Silverman is like I just don't date Western women anymore. Like, I kind of get it. You know, like, yeah, no, that's things like, if you had, I mean, even if you don't have money, there's a risk. But if you have money, God, there's a risk.
Yeah. But then,
Especially-
of course,
especially
the
when the-
inverse, obvious, ridiculous one here, and it just becomes internet comedy.
What
Like,
you gotta
nobody's taking
do-
this seriously.
What you got to do, if I were super rich and famous and unmarried, I would date somebody like Morgan, who is completely aloof on pop culture. Like, she gives zero shits about actor names and stuff. I'd have to be some niche YouTuber that she knew for her to know that I was famous. She could date, like, I don't know. I could be like Zac Efron, and well, she'd know Zac Efron, but I mean, you could be a super famous guy. She probably wouldn't even know. That's the kind. You go to some rural area with a down to earth, normal girl, find her.
She doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You got to ask them, who's Hassan Piker? And if they don't know, you're like, will you marry me? No, I was kidding.
I got a lot of rules. If I was going to date again, there's a few things that would be deal breakers right off the bat. And one of them would be, yeah, if she knows who Hassan Piker is, not going to date her. If she has my taste in music, definitely not going to date her. Like, all of that. Morgan, when I met her, liked Christian rock. Okay. And she still will listen to it every now and then. And I'm like, that's my type of girl. I don't like your music, but I like you.
But I mean, it's
All
so
right.
ridiculous because, like, this, the E. Jean Carroll case is not less ridiculous than this case.
Oh, God,
Yet
no.
that went all the way through, and this one, everybody's just laughing off the internet as an obvious joke and not real.
I had a conversation with ChatGPT about E. Jean Carroll, asking about, like, how guilty do you think he is of this? And it was like, oh, I'm pretty sure it's guilty. And then I was like, what do you think of the counter evidence that she geeked out about him on The Apprentice on Twitter for like decades after he did this? That might seem like counter evidence to some, but people process trauma differently.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, yeah, like lying repeatedly and having your lawyer shake somebody down for $5.5 million. This is how rape victims act. You can't judge a rape victim on their extortionist behavior. Like,
Yeah, you got to listen to that guy's video of like all the stuff.
Dude, I
There's
need-
more
I
he was
gotta-
not allowed to submit to the Canadian courts, and
it's so nuts.
And he's like, I don't
do it.
even need my he said, she said. Like, I can use she said, she said. I can just use her claims one way or the other about every single thing, and I should be exonerated. And no, they won't let me admit it.
That's so fucked. All right, I gotta go for real this time.
All righty.
Hasta la pasti.
Bye.
Whoever put this out there. You're gonna need to earn it, my little Arab boy toy. Doe alleges she told him
Arab.
during a work social event at her private members club. During the same event, he claimed she reportedly groped his groin under the table and spat in her hand. running them over his neck and head. This is the dream for a lot of people, but I do want to say this is not cool. It's true. Not cool. Not cool. I would hate for that to happen to me. But no, I shouldn't be joking about that. Then allegedly on his birthday, Hajjini went up to him and said, "Birthday BJ for the brown boy, my little brown boy." Again,
it's fucking
worst nightmare. No, I'm kidding. I can't. I'm just a joke. Can't be doing this in a workplace, Miss Hajjini. But this is all alleged. And as I said, JPMorgan standing by her. JPMorgan Chase said
if the exact opposite happened, they would probably suspend or fire the guy.
They would fire him over just the allegation, even if he was proven innocent in court, they would not hire him back.
Yeah.
A thorough internal investigation found no evidence to support the accusations. Following the investigation, we don't believe there's any merit to these claims, said the spokesperson.
We need evidence before we do stuff.
Cooperated with the investigation. The complainant refused to participate and has declined to provide facts that would be central to.
The thing is that BYU player, I know there's a BYU honor code, but under Title IX, he'd be just as screwed. He wouldn't be able to play right now.
Yep.
Support his allegations. The former JPMorgan employee says that he's been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder and continues to struggle financially because his reputation.
Let's listen to what Shane Gillis has to say. But
yeah, play Metallica. R. Kelly. So it turns out that lady that was a scam. That was fake. The lady who forced the guy to fuck her. It was JP Morgan.
What?
Yeah, wasn't real.
She was hot.
Yeah, I know.
Was that in the last one we did?
Jamie said it's fake, right?
Oh.
It's fake.
Yeah, the news is going around that it's like there was like the lawsuit is not accurate. It's like a retaliatory lawsuit.
So he just claimed that she said all those things and she made him fuck her.
Damn,
what a pussy.
Wait, is he an Indian guy?
I believe so.
Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about
like a scam,
like the horniest guy ever, the hottest scene.
She called them cannons.
Yeah.
Once a lady calls her tits cannons, who have you ever heard of a girl call her tits cannons?
It's such
right.
18-year-old or 16-year-old boy thing.
I've never heard cannons.
Cannons, gazongas. What's
I've heard
next?
guys talk about a girl's cannons when she's nowhere near them.
I've heard cans.
Cans, sure,
and
yeah.
torpedoes.
I've heard cannons.
From a woman?
Wow.
I've never heard women call their own breasts that.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Jugs,
are hilarious.
sweater puppets, fun bags, knockers.
Charles says she sounds suspiciously like a horny Indian man.
I'm sure she said
she did.
No,
no
she
lady.
said, "I'm
That's an
sure
Indian
your
man.
fish head Asian wife doesn't have cannons like this."
Fish head.
That's what he said.
That's what he said. She said.
Damn.
What's
So
that?
wait, this was totally fake
claiming
then?
it's that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like he just made it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know it's kind of shitty is that now he's got to explain to his wife why he called her a fish head Asian wife with tiny tits. Like, listen, sweetie, I know you're trying to extort money, but did you have to call me ugly and tiny tits?
Yeah. It's so ridiculous.
Jeez.
No, when she was the boss and she made the guy fuck her.
Disclosure.
Oh,
I used to yank it to that one.
Oh god,
That
she was
fucking
hot.
article almost made me yank it this morning.
I know,
I was
right?
laying in bed, seeing that Twitter thing.
Fish head.
Damn, this is
Ooh.
hot as hell.
Well, she's hot.
That's so stupid.
Oh, reminds me. Let me send it to you real quick. I got a great meme about this.
About the JP Morgan situation or just about fish?
Both.
Oh, nice.
I'll see if I can find it. Oh, okay. Let me just send. I'll just send it in the Facebook. Where the hell is? God, I got too many fucking groups. Okay, there we go.
I bet your little Asian wife doesn't have
Holy shit, that's so stupid.
There are people probably, and the Indian worker dude's like, no, I don't like this.
He's typing up fucking fan fiction on the clock. Oh yes, and then she said the brown boy needs a BJ for his birthday. Can I please suck your cock and you can feel my bobbin vagina? Oh, your wife is so ugly, she has tiny titties, not like my cannons. You want to feel my fun bags, big oh god. And then she made him suck on her toes. Oh, the feet, she had such marvelous feet.
It's so funny and outrageous, but at the same time, it's like I feel a little bit like the OJ jurists. Like they're like, well, that white lady deserved it, or something like that, which they obviously didn't. But part of me is like, well, that pretty lady in a high powered job, we got to get some of them back, you know. But yeah, ridiculous, but so funny. Moving on. Do you want to talk about the Met Gala, the Onion taking over, InfoWars, Banksy? What's that?
Well, first, I mentioned it a little bit in the group chat. This is just a brief aside. My job, they'll do this thing every year where they get this gay ass some motivational speaker to talk to us, and we don't care. We're like, look, just took the 20 grand you spent booking this guy and buy us some burgers or something. I don't know, like give us lunch. We would so much prefer that. The first time we did it, they rented out this whole arena and bust us into town, which is an hour away, and we just listened to this dude who got his arm cut off in an industrial accident. He's supposedly a motivational speaker, but
I had a freeze. I don't know if it actually freezed anywhere but me. But they got this dude that what?
Oh, he got his arm cut off in an industrial accident.
Whoa.
And he's supposed to be like this motivational speaker, but man, he was so bad at it. He was just depressed. He's just talking about, oh yeah, you gotta be careful with like safety stuff, man. Like it's just everybody involved in it afterward. They were so fucked up that they could have stopped this. They like became alcoholics and got divorces and stuff. So he was more of a cautionary tale than a motivational speaker. But this year they really broke the bank. They sprung for the Rudy.
The actual Rudy.
The actual Rudy Rudiger.
I actually just watched that maybe 6 months ago again. I saw it when I was younger, but I hadn't seen it in a long time.
I've still never seen it.
I watched that before I knew who Vince Vaughn and what's his name?
Sean Astin?
No, I knew who Sean Astin. Everyone knew who Sean Astin was at that time from Goonies. And no, his friend in it who's the director of Iron Man and all that stuff.
Oh, Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau. Like I had no idea they were even in the movie because I'd seen it so long ago.
Oh, I didn't know they were in it because I've never seen it. But holy shit, it was the most amazing motivational speaker we've had. Like I was stoked because we got to watch it telecast into our break room. So I was like, oh sweet, I can just dick around on my phone the whole time and not pay attention. But man, I did not pick up my phone once because it was fucking bizarre. It was like It's like the rambliness of Trump with the brain of Biden.
I've heard some stuff that he's a weirdo. Yeah,
dude, he didn't say anything about. I don't think he had anything prepared. I think he just started like, I'm gonna fucking wing it. And
what was he talking
some
about?
people say, "Oh, Rudy, you're dumb" and stuff like, "Oh, I'm dumb, sure, but I'm getting paid to speak, and you're here listening." And
did he talk about the story of the movie?
A little bit. He did that, but then he loved name dropping. Talking about how Kobe Bryant viewed him as a hero.
Oh my god!
Like, it was amazing. It was incredible. I wish I could have recorded it. And one of my coworkers, they told us we had the option to go see it in person, and one of them did it, and he got a signed picture from Rudy, and so
wow.
It was hilarious. Oh, it was amazing.
That's a pretty good movie, anyway. I mean, if you watch it, I mean,
I hear the story's bullshit, but he kind of addressed
I don't
that
think
a
it's
little
bullshit.
bit. Well, it was a bunch of his classmates came out and said, yeah, well, most of that didn't happen. But I don't know.
Oh, the stuff before, like the actual moment?
I have no idea.
So, I mean, I bet you that like, they dreamt up like the scenarios of like him talking to people throughout the year and all that sorts of stuff. Like, I don't think they had every single moment in time, but the fact that he came from nowhere, worked hard on the team, and then got this final sack in like the final game, that didn't matter because it was a game that was way won and way over and all that sorts of stuff. This is the thing that's not true about it. And here's another 6 degrees of Chris Hanna thing. 1998, 99, I was on my mission, but there was a general conference and they talked about this Down syndrome girl that they voted the senior queen or whatever, right?
Mhm.
It was in Thomas S. Monson talked about it. That was my high school. I know that girl. She lived behind my girlfriend's house and she was out there playing all the time. The problem is they talked about how like that was so sweet of that school to vote them. And the problem is I knew the story of how they decided to even put her.
Oh, were they being dicks?
They were being dicks. But the vote wasn't dick.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? The entry into the vote, I know right who did it. He is the exact type of bully that would have bullied Rudy. You know what I mean? He was a football player. He was a zitty, roided up football player who was a total dickhead. He looked like that from when he was 2 to when. I mean, it's the exact type of guy that Patton Oswalt imagines Trump is because he was beat up by him his whole entire life. And it was him in the classroom going, hey, what if we put Shelly in? Oh, and he's the one who submitted in. But the class voting on her was magnanimous, so it's still a good story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I knew the exact story of like what actually happened in the room when they put her name in the ballot voting.
That's so shitty.
So, yeah. But anyway, but I think that's the same thing with Rudy, is that they're all talking about it like, Rudy, we want to get Rudy in there. Let's get Rudy, get him his sack or something like that. It was more, I'll fucking put Rudy in there. Get Rudy in. Like, we're killing him. Like, that'd be hilarious, you know. And he got in, he got his sack. You know what I mean? So it's still, I mean, it still happened. It was still a story, and they still cheered. And we're like, yeah, he got the sack. Oh my gosh. This guy who was just, he got to dress today because there was, you know, all this sorts of stuff. But it wasn't quite like the standing clap ovation moment that before. You know what I mean? It was kind of more a goof, but then it turned into something awesome. So that's what I'd heard.
I don't know. I didn't look into it at all because I just don't care. So you want to talk about the Met Gala, huh?
The Met Gala or the impersonation of Alex Jones or
I don't know. Here's the thing. Okay, so the Met Gala is just stupid and
I mean, it's all champagne socialism. I just have it listed in the screen in the thing here. Is all champagne socialism, like all these rich people thinking they're doing something.
I always thought it'd be just the funnest thing in the world if you established yourself as like the artsy guy that everybody follows the trends of, and you would show up to the Met Gala wearing like
normal clothes.
Yeah, just jeans and a t-shirt.
Like, oh, what kind of statement do you think he's making? This is so chic. So, yes.
That would be pretty good.
Oh, he's protesting. He bought those from Walmart. He's protesting rampant capitalism, isn't he?
Oh, it all goes on with like this NPR. Oh, we gotta think of the SNAP benefits. I saw you commented on that one. Like, oh, what are they gonna do with those SNAP benefits? And all the pictures are the vegetables and the food.
Yeah, you put the thing that they never fucking buy.
Oh, Ryan says there's a site that deciphers what actually happened versus what didn't. I bet you there's stuff like they all said that they were going to give up their jersey if Rudy didn't play. Like, I bet that moment didn't happen. But and then the American Psychiatric Association's upset that we're not giving more money to that thing. So everybody's got to think of the 1%. The 1%'s screwing everybody. Oh, and then we had the guy who wanted to sue Walgreens for leaving after they got shoplifted at so much. So how dare Walgreens leave from getting shoplifted?
The NPR articles just get more and more retarded as
Every single article is just straight propaganda. And so, of course, at the Met Gala, we have this lady. I guess they were mostly protesting that it was being funded mostly by Amazon. And
Yeah, but like, how much of this wealth disparity discourse is just millionaires bitching about billionaires?
Yeah.
Because I don't really care about either one. Because it's like
they view themselves as middle class, being 12 millionaires, don't they?
Yeah,
they
for
really
sure. I'm like, come on, lady. If you don't have any debt at all and you own your house outright and you don't have to work another day in your life, you don't get to complain about billionaires. You just don't.
100%.
Because you are as far away from me as they are. Like, if you... It's almost like sixes. If you offered to give me $50 million or 10 billion, obviously I'd take the 10 billion, but in my mind, it'd be like, that's not much different, because either way, I don't have a mortgage anymore and I never have to work again. That's all that means to me. Now I have fuck you money.
Like, seriously, like I do not understand how them or Hassan Piker do not have any self-awareness of like what just brazen hypocrisy it is on display. Like, do they generally not, or do they kind of know that they are, but they have to do this because it comes with the territory of being an actor nowadays or something?
Dude, I have no idea. Painfully retarded.
They dress so stupid. They dress all the guys up like gay. Did you see this? You know who this gray-haired person is?
No.
That's Bad Bunny. Part of his dress up was to dress like an old man.
Holy shit.
This guy looking like a, what do you call those, bullfighter or something. I can't believe they do this. I mean, some of this, beyond just doing that, it does seem like a shame ritual.
I know. Every time I see this, I'm like, is this just the humiliation ritual you have to do to re-up your Illuminati membership or some stupid shit like that?
That's Kelsey. That's Travis Kelsey's brother, football player, longtime football player. Just they're cucking himself to look like the most, like, what is that outfit? Like, what is that? You know,
it's not an outfit. It's, you just look retarded and you're doing it on purpose. You're trying to look retarded.
Do you know what the whole thing funds?
Oh, isn't it some museum or some shit?
It's just the Met Gala. Like, I thought for years that it was probably some major charity thing.
Yeah, at least they're pretending that they're doing something worth.
They're just funding the gala. They're funding the place.
We have to do it. A charity drive to fund our charity drives,
and just go look like the most ridiculous. What's that series where she has to fight all the people? Jennifer Lawrence.
Hunger Games.
Hunger Games, like they all dress like Hunger Games freaks.
They do look like the Capitol people in Hunger Games for sure. God, everything's so gay.
And then of course we had our first.
Oh God, I remember this dude from.
This dude.
Yeah, seriously, from years ago. What do they call, like, live differently or there's a stupid ass videos. They're still doing them.
When I first started working, I was an anomaly to the industry. Arguably, in many ways today, really, I still am. I think it's time to say the quiet part out loud.
You're a physical anomaly.
The fashion industry is unlikely to book or pay Black trans feminine and or physically disabled models to do runway, editorial, and or campaign because of an absence of whiteness.
Yeah, it is the whiteness. It's the white. Notice all of the white trans wheelchair-bound models that are out there. You fucking dumbass.
Those they all look like lieutenants of the final boss in an RPG.
This guy, he's not like mentally retarded, right? So I can make fun of him. Like
I think he can anyway.
Okay, good.
But yeah, I mean that's a mental retardation to be so wrapped up in the critical theory.
Yeah, but that's like rapid onset mental retardation. It's something you catch, you know. Like this, I think this dude is just physically disabled, but he saw a lane and he chose it and he got in at a fairly good time. It's on the decline a little bit right now, but no, he had a video from like 2015 or 2016. I'd have to find it, but I remember this dude. Just talking about how fabulous he is.
Never ever seen it before myself. Sam Piker is no different. Like they show these videos. Did you ever see those like old memes of like LeBron James sitting there trying to read books like he was deep or something like that? LeBron James would be sitting at basketball games holding like a book, and it was always open to the same spot in the book. And they were usually commie books too. There he is holding "What Is to Be Done" by Lenin, the book that launched the Bolshevik model, but was later retooled as he's flying to Cuba. And people always point out, they look it up, he's wearing like these Gucci glasses that cost like $4,000. He always, like, everybody always points out too that his clothes, I mean, I guess women follow that stuff. I should dress better because I thought women might just like care about how stuff fits or whatever, but they really do sniff out when something costs $5,000, even if it just looks like, that looks like a fucking baggy hoodie and jogging pants and shitty glasses. But women sniff out that that's $8,000 anyway.
Lenin didn't write that book. I have that book. It inspired Lenin. It's what's his name? Nikolai Chernyshevsky wrote that. But it was the book that inspired Lenin. I have the book. I tried to open it up and read it. It's so fucking dry.
It's not Lenin?
No.
What Is to Be Done? Burning Questions of Our Movement about Vladimir Lenin?
Well,
I thought it was a Lenin book.
Maybe he did write one of the same name, because
Can you spell the other guy? Can you Google the other guy? Maybe it's like the same concept.
I don't know. I'll look into it later. It's at work right now. I have it sitting on my. It's been sitting on my fucking desk for like 2 years because I tried to read it and I just it sucks.
I've never read anything directly by Lenin. I've read some stuff directly by Stalin, but man, this is Colin Wright's thing about running to the left and bigot, and he added to it. He put they ran and even a little bit further left and then grabbed a gun.
We're still on the What Is to Be Done page.
So I wasn't even showing this right here, 2008, running left, my fellow liberal, woke progressive, you bigot, and then woke progressive, you bigot with the gun.
Well, that was listening to my gracious transgender gubernatorial candidate socialist talk to a podcast today. That's kind of what he's saying, like, oh, they're trying to appeal to moderate Republicans, but if you think that in Idaho Falls there are moderate Republicans, you're wrong. They're all far right, all of them, and you don't appeal to them by being a moderate Democrat. No, if they go far right, you got to go full on far left.
Yeah,
a bunch of retards in there. Yes, girl, preach.
This is Banksy's new statue. They act like he somehow snuck up a statue somewhere. Oh, they've confirmed it was Banksy who just suddenly like that wasn't like fully planned with the city, and they're gonna leave it up and that sorts of stuff like that. Like Banksy's the Rage Against the Machine of graffiti art type stuff. Like they found out who he is. He's just like this schlubby British dude who's a multimillionaire and was born and raised in a millionaire family.
Do you want to rage against the machine? Do you want to tear down this system? Well, purchase Tom Morello's guitar tips for 6 easy payments of $29.99.
I'm so tired of champagne socialism, man. It's so stupid. It's so ridiculous. But I mean, I guess it's the future, so I gotta get used to it.
They have to do it by complaining about wealth disparity. We have this idea, and they've ingrained it so deeply that we just kind of take it for granted that wealth disparity is a problem. It's not a problem. It is not a problem that the gap between me and Elon Musk keeps growing, because also my earnings keep going up. It's just, they're going up slower, and I don't care about him.
You can call it a problem, you know, as Jordan Peters pointed out, in the sense that envy is real and people get envious, and you know,
they're pussies.
So it's going to come around no matter what. No matter what, we're going to be dealing with that envy if it gets that big of a gap between them, even though it's not an actual problem of their living lives type stuff. But that's one of the things that you'd always point out, and Actual Justice Warrior points it out too, is that disparity in an area causes more crime. You know how leftists always say poverty causes crime?
Yeah.
It's not true. It's more disparity in an area. But leftists wouldn't even say it like that because they don't want to, even though it might sound good for them. But it's generally like, no, if people are doing pretty dang good, but they just see wealthier, they go and steal that. You know what I mean? So it's not saying that it's poverty. It's places that have absolute poverty don't really see the disparity around it because they're not really close to something, and they actually have less crime when there's absolute poverty around. Places that are extremely poor have less crime than places that just have medium wealthy or lower wealthy people, and they see this truly wealthy people, and then they want to go steal from it. So it's an envy situation. This dude's a pretty good troll of the communist marches.
I'm here to show it. Stand up, fight back. Who are you with, huh? Who are you with? Under attack. Science. Get involved. Take a stand.
I'm 83.
Take a stand.
It's not a war.
It's a war. We're going to charge in the news. Quit your jobs. Come on. Quit your jobs, guys. Come on. They're not quitting. We got to get.
I know, it's fucked up.
Are you here with us, or I just want to make sure?
I seen some people I know, so I stopped by. Say yourself.
I mean, you're just harassing black people. What are you doing? Well, okay, no, I'm not harassing people. I just want to make sure that because he was with our table, and we have specific people dedicated to.
Okay, yeah.
I was just making sure.
You know, it's a little. This is just bossing around a black guy like that triggered me a little bit. You're gonna point the sign out. You gotta pick one. In the middle.
I want to fight against the system. They're coming together.
You got a camera?
If you have to,
You should quit your job. I don't have one. Yeah, I'm a communist. Hell yeah. Yeah. I do love quitting your job. Yeah. I don't work either. What are you doing? I'm raising awareness. To what? I'm raising awareness. To what? For the. What are you gonna do, big guy? Huh? What are you really gonna do, big guy? Communism.
That actually looks like kind of fun to go do.
That would be fun.
You want to disrupt businesses or not? An organizer. Oh, so yeah, just follow the leader of these people. Because what are they doing? To people of color. I agree. And indigenous people. I agree. So I'm trying to talk to a black person and tell them I don't want to be leading anything. I want to find a black person to lead me because you agree. Okay. Well, you should. The fact that we're even having this conversation even is problematic. We should not be talking about.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna go to a protest tomorrow to check it out, but it got canceled.
You were gonna go for real?
Yeah, that was they're protesting our farmers market.
And you were gonna go check out?
I wanted to see.
What are they protesting about it? Is there too much? Is there?
No. It's it wasn't even that unreasonable. It was. They found out that like the president of the farmers market. I didn't even know that's a thing. Like I thought people just got together to sell their shit, but no, there's a president and a board of directors of the farmers market, because of course there is. And the president back in 2019 got Chris Hansen, like not Chris Hansen, because there was a 15-year-old boy that he was trying to pay for sex. He was like grooming him and tried to pay him for sex. He got caught and then he served his time or whatever. And then he was the president of our farmers market.
Jeez.
And yeah, I told him, like, I'm trying to tell these people, I don't know why you're freaking out. This is just part of gay culture. I could understand if it was a straight guy doing it or something, right? But this is their culture. And who's to say? But they were mad. That guy resigned after a couple of days, but they were mad at the board of directors because the board of directors were like defending him, like, look, he served his time. You know, yeah, he tried to bone a 15-year-old boy, but he did his time, and he's a really good guy. Just trying to be all Mormon-y and nice. And then they kind of, I don't know if they found this out for sure, but everybody seemed to be under the impression that the board of directors were aware that this guy was like a weird pedo, I guess. But so they planned a protest and wanted the entire board of directors to resign. But then today the whole board of directors resigned and they got new ones. So they're like, okay, I guess we won't do the protest.
I mean, that doesn't seem like such a. I don't know that.
No, that's not a very unreasonable protest. I'm okay with that.
I thought you were gonna go check out a commie or a
No.
Kings protest or something like that.
No, I probably wouldn't have actually gone to see it because I got to take my kid to the dentist in the morning, but I wanted to.
You're not a real comrade.
I'm not a real comrade, no, but I am again. I will say this. I stand firmly against pedophilia. I really do.
Not
brave. I know that might not be a popular viewpoint these days, but
brave.
Fuck it, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna shout it loud and proud.
Brave.
Yeah.
I mean, there is this like on YouTube they said, could oyster farmer with a Nazi tattoo scandal be the Democrats' new champion? And Democrats clarify everyone is a Nazi except the guy with the Nazi tattoo. But I mean, would you stand for this guy? Because I mean, he did that a long time ago. You know what I mean? And
that's
of course, they called everybody else a Nazi for forever, but now they're okay with this
That's
guy.
a pretty fucking specific tattoo.
Yeah.
Like, did he clearly didn't plan on being a lefty politician, right?
I guess not. But I guess all's good now. I mean, Elon's still a little Nazi because of the way he waved, like everybody else waves, but not the guy with the Nazi tattoo.
You know what sucks about Elon is you can't even bring him up in any conversation. It's just like J.K. Rowling. I found that out today, where at work, and a couple of dudes who were, they're just normie lefties. We were talking about Batman, and somebody mentioned the Penguin, and his name is Oswald Cobblepot, and I was like, that sounds like J.K. Rowling.
I was gonna say that,
and
although all the names of the boys, and I can't remember if that's the names of the boys in Lord of the Flies. I mean, it was World War I era where I looked it up. There's maybe 100 mixed race marriages at that time frame, so it could have been the one hero kid was in it, but they all had Harry Potter sounding names, like all
really,
yeah.
Anyway, it was funny because I just that's all I said, and then you could see the sour look on these two guys' face just from mentioning her.
Oh, brother!
And one was like, "Oh, did you see? I saw a tweet that she did the other day where somebody's talking about how Nazis burned books, and she said, I think you need to learn history. That never happened." And I was like, "She did?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "I doubt it." Like, I don't know. Maybe. Now I gotta go fucking look that up to see. There's no fucking way. There's no way she said that, right? Like that. It's like Trump. Anytime somebody tells me something,
exactly again.
He's saying that in her tweet, she said that Nazis didn't burn books.
J.K. Rowling said that.
That's what this guy claimed, and I haven't bothered.
And you tried to Google it up?
No, I didn't try. I was going to at lunch, but then I was like, yeah, fuck this. I'll just listen to more drama about the quartering.
Like you didn't care that much. Jonathan pulled this up that the guy gave this think piece on what's going on at the Met Gala and why everything sucks nowadays. And it's jumping off the death of the author thing. It's more death of the reader. Authors write for readers who aren't authors. Artists paint for non-artists. Musicians play for non-musicians. This keeps fiction, art, and music grounded. But when any group stops creating for an external audience and starts trying to impress only each other, they create a weird self-reinforcing feedback loop. I think this sounds like really true of like what's happening almost all throughout the media and the slop and the crap we get nowadays. They're all just trying to impress each other rather than.
It's been happening in pretentious circles forever, right? Yeah. Ever since we had civilization. I mean, you got that guy from, it was probably like 2010 or something. It was a long ass time ago now, when he went to this gay art gallery and just like he put his sunglasses in the corner and people are gathering around and be like, "Ooh, what do you think they intended by this?" That is art for an artist. It's not for a rando consumer.
This isn't clothing or even fashion. It's a costume party. They're all trying to one-up each other. There's something weirder and more eye-catching. So when an athlete of recent and topical celebrity who isn't a part of their bored billionaires club shows up in a dress, that's just a dress. Of course, they are going to mock her. She's just revealed that she didn't get the memo, that she's not an insider. How she looks to the world at large is not the point. This is why 99% of copies of Infinite Jest has never been read. Infinite Jest, I have read it, and I actually like David Foster Wallace, but I don't think he was writing for just a bad choice of a book. But this is why John Cage wrote 4 Minutes of Silence. This is why competitive bodybuilders from the 80s look like Greek gods and modern ones look like gargoyle freaks. That's true. Like it's 100% true that happened in that realm too. Like they live to be mega monsters extreme to each other and not to how it appeals to the eye anymore. And that's why it freaked out.
I would bet money that 90% of copies of The God Delusion go unread and just sit on coffee tables.
You think so?
Maybe not 99%. I don't know. I don't know. I just remember this.
It's just an easy read is all. But I mean, I could think of like other books that would certainly hit that. David Foster Wallace is a bad choice because David Foster Wallace was actually one of the persons who preached against postmodernism and all that sorts of stuff and didn't like it. But I get why people think that, because a bunch of the people who were postmodernists loved that book. I mean, it was so early. It's a long time ago. And it was kind of before like the huge push of all this other stuff. And a lot of them might now hate David Foster Wallace, partially because they also think that just like everybody is canceled, there'd be a protest against him. He supposedly kind of got abusive with a girlfriend.
It's
but I don't know that it was physically abusive. He was just supposedly abusive speaking to her.
It's sometimes like weird that the things that postmodernists can get into, you'd think they wouldn't. Like, I had a buddy who would argue for postmodernism, kinda, and he had a band, and he named his band Prince Mishkin, and I was like, why'd you name your band Prince Mishkin? Because that's the main character in The Idiot by Dostoevsky. And he's like, I like that book, and I was, you like Dostoevsky? He's like, yeah. I was like all he does is shit on postmodernism. Like, he didn't have the name for it, but he's constant.
Yeah, that's why I say Infinite Jest kind of gets grandfathered in, because it was before the biggest mainstreaming of all that popularity, that stuff. So stuff like that can get, The Godfather is kind of a traditional movie, but those guys could like The Godfather because it was from the 70s and not from 2015, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. They can like more classical things from back then, unless was sexist, racist, bigot, homophobe, or whatever, or white, a bad sign of saying whites were better than they were, or something.
My favorite is when they retroactively stopped liking something that they thought was objectively artistic.
Oh yeah,
what was that? We played a clip of some dude. It was a few weeks back, who was talking about some universally loved piece of art that he's like, and I loved it too. And then I found out that it was, I don't know, critical of communism or some gay shit like that.
I've never ever done that sort of stuff. I've had stuff kind of feel soured or colored, but I still like these guys. I still like the song, or I still like this movie, or whatever it was. But like, too bad that guy's a douche. But I still like that movie, or I still like that song, or I still like that thing. So much so that I still like a bunch of like old Cosby. I'm nostalgic for when Cosby was not known as a rapist.
Yeah. Well, I remember when J.K. Rowling was a woke darling. She just kept saying like, oh yeah, there's all sorts of kids in Hogwarts. There's Jews, there's atheists, there's wizards, there's transgenders, there's gays. And I was like, hang on a sec. First off, how the fuck could there be atheists at Hogwarts? They see literal ghosts. Like, they know there's an afterlife of some kind. The ghosts tell them you can choose to be a ghost if you want, but then you can't go to the afterlife, and you're kind of stuck here.
It's the most faithful position.
Like, how the fuck could you be an That's retarded, JK. And I don't know how they could be super religious people, because couldn't they just ask the ghost, hey, like, which one's right? If they're like, it was the Seventh-day Adventist the whole time, like, I guess that's what I'm going to be now. But I remember when she was
Mitchell
doing
Clark
all that,
says
like,
Sydney Sweeney was hot until she didn't apologize.
Oh yeah. And her boobs aren't even that big, right?
Yeah.
No, I remember when she's doing all that, like, oh, Dumbledore's gay. And I was like, okay, like, retroactively, okay, great, brave of you.
I didn't care about any of that stuff because it wasn't in the text.
No, I know. I would be like, when she would criticize that, or when somebody was like, I think Hermione's black, and she said, well, I never said anything about her skin color.
That one drove me nuts because it was in there. Yeah,
it was in there. But
But no, I didn't care that. I didn't care that she said Dumbledore was gay all the time. Like I don't understand.
And I remember somebody like asking if I didn't like Harry Potter because I was like, well, no, it's a good book. Like it's a great series. She's a fantastic world builder. She's a very talented writer. She did a great job on it. She just says retarded things sometimes. But dude, they can't do that. They have to hate Harry Potter now. Like it was actually never that good. It's actually always full of racism.
Oh, I told you that I stumbled upon that on YouTube. Anybody here can go stumble upon it. You might accidentally do it. It might have happened to your algorithm just by us saying it if you're on YouTube here. Because I clicked on one video of maybe this wasn't actually also great, and I got overwhelmed. There is 5,000 videos of people trying to talk down Harry Potter as never actually being a very good book. Of course, some of them add in like the critical theory that it reinforces house elf stuff, and it doesn't do anything to challenge systems, and it doesn't do anything to challenge it actually just reinforces the hegemony, reinforces the status quo of those bad systems. But a lot of them were just also just kind of saying, this is actually bad writing. This is actually bad world building. This magic doesn't make sense. But you could tell it was just like almost marching orders from all of BreadTube to, we need to undo this book as a cultural iconic book, just overwhelmed with it. There's thousands of them.
He's how you say retarded.
Yeah. It's all the death of the ruler. Hollywood doesn't make movies for you now. They hate you. They make movies for each other. And they cry about how you didn't buy a ticket because they think your only role is to pay for their onanistic circle of self-indulgence. The game isn't going to stop. It's just going to keep getting weirder until someone's dress malfunctions and catches on fire and the rest of us all have a good laugh. All right, I'm going to show my favorite piece of ripping on a rich person this week. Bringing back Kyle Dunnigan. Okay, I got to say something, and I don't usually say stuff like I don't get celebrity crushes at all, but I kind of have a bit of a crush on Kyle Dunnigan's new gal here. She's funny and cute and all that stuff. Yeah, but limited. I never get that crushy on celebrity-ish stuff.
Yeah, do you know?
Because we squash.
What's that? You learned your lesson.
I learned my fucking lesson. That's how I found out I'm gay.
Elliot Page.
I just was so gay for his tits. Sorry.
Squash them. We squash them all. And
being Tim Cook here.
You don't see any reporters on CNN talking about it, do you? Because we buy commercial space. Woo.
That makes total sense.
It does. It's disgusting, but I love it because I'm the devil. I'm the devil himself. I'll spank your bottom, sassy lady. Why don't you come work for us? We pay 2 cents an hour. There's a fun ride at the top of the building. You jump off and you land in the net.
I don't want to work.
That's what they call them. That's what they call them, Uyghurs. Wee. Grr, they have to go back to work. Wee, grr, have to go back to work. Wee. God, that word is so close to another word. I hate that.
We jump off the roof. Grr, gotta go back to work. This is the best part though.
Another word. I hate that. Get nervous. You're not supposed to say the other word, but then you're so close to it, and you're like, ooh, I hope I don't slip up.
Yeah, I mean, you don't. It feels like you don't have to call them that. It feels.
Well, that's
like.
their name. They're Uyghurs. I just worry about slip up because sometimes, just to tell you something about myself, Kitty, sometimes that night I scream the other word into my pillow. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. But it feels good to get off my chest. I just scream into my pillow. Just makes me feel better. Just because it's a naughty word. That's all. That's all. Come on for us. Every time I see people protest and they're filming something with our camera, I go, "You're filming this with our camera, and you gave us money to pay these Uyghurs." You don't want to pay more money for your phone, though, right, Kitty?
No.
All right, see, so you're part of the problem. Don't probably blame me. Don't take away my bonus.
Do you find that it's like ironic, like people, or like hypocritical that people like?
I find it hilarious. I find it hilarious because they're just so upset about something. They're like, boycott Walmart. someone said, something bad about Chinese people. And then I'm like, you film that, you just type that into your Uyghur phone. And you have no problems with that. But someone said something about a Chinese person. Now you can't go to Walmart, whatever. As long as I sell my products, I don't care. The devil itself.
Do you let your kids use Apple products?
Of course. If I had kids, but I don't. Why would you bring that up? I can't have children. I tried to have one kid, but it came out black because the place sent me a black kid. Screwed up my semen. I don't know whose semen that is. But it wasn't mine. Mine is honky semen. I got the most honky semen there is.
Honky?
Honky semen. That's what it's classified as. I did a 23andMe, and you know what it said? 100% honky.
Do you think you're like as good as Steve Jobs?
Oh, it was so much better. I think I was such an ass. He was so stupid, dumb. I hated his products.
Did you work with him?
Yes, I worked right under him. Right under his ball sack. He was so mean to me. He made me lick his balls. He said, Tim, lick my balls. And I'd have to do it because I wanted all the money. And I was like, I'm going to give this guy cancer. I used to give him little treats and little sugars like you give Kyle to give him cancer. I used to give him candies to get cancer. And then he did, and I was so happy. I celebrated. And I go, I'm next. I'm going to work those Uyghurs to the bone. Dude, them nerds, too.
Wow.
Anyway.
Shocking.
Oh, it's shocking, all right. No one cares, though. Anyway, thanks for buying my products.
You're welcome.
Thanks, everybody, for having me on the show to buy my products.
Thanks for being on the show, too.
Into a pillow.
Thanks for buying my products.
My products.
Thanks for buying my products. Thanks for buying my products.
Oh my gosh, that gave me the hiccups. Mitch Clark says liberals from the 80s and 90s, you must separate the art from the artist. Liberals would say you can never separate the art from the artist. Yeah.
Well, here's what it is. Modern lefties are their muscle of separating the art from the artist has atrophied so completely because the only artists over the last 40, 50 years that express any opinions are like lib shit commies, So my dad the Fox News classic conservative guy, he can separate the art from the artist. He can be like, man, that Bill Burr's pretty funny, but fuck is he retarded. But you guys can't do it because you also do this thing. It's not just not separating the art from the artist. There is a certain degree where I wouldn't be able to separate the art from the artist. Like, I don't know if I find out that
Cosby, that's one, part of me goes I would love to go back and watch those Cosbys because I watched them in the 80s and I'd feel nostalgic for it, but I don't think I could undo that guy was probably actually doing some roofie raping.
Yeah, I'm like, if I found out that Adam Carolla was slicing dudes' heads off and keeping them in his fridge and eating them or some shit, that'd be pretty difficult. So what you have to do is you have to pretend that everything they do is as bad as slicing dudes' heads off and keeping them in the fridge. You got to just totally catastrophize. It's an ideology of borderline personality disorder. You just got to catastrophize literally everything. Yeah, that's what you do with Hassan, even talking about it. And it wasn't him that came up with it. It was Engels that was talking about it. The social violence, was that what he called it?
Yeah.
When he's talking about, well, yeah, they said that Luigi Mangione was doing violence, but that CEO dude, he was committing social violence. So what he is doing is so bad that it justifies any action against him. My enemies are ontologically evil.
Here's a proof of that. Sam Cedar. I can't stand Sam Cedar, but I don't mind that he's in Bob's Burger.
I know.
I can let it go. Yeah.
It kind of makes more sense when you realize that he just plays himself.
Yeah, totally. Here's Gavin McInnes, the person who Kara Burrell used to listen to back when she was
racist.
Jimmy Kimmel, because you know Jimmy Kimmel.
Yes.
You were friends with Jimmy Kimmel. Are you still friends?
Nope.
No. Why?
Well, I was telling you earlier, I think he's what I call a second marriage slave. And Howard Stern has it too. You go through a divorce when you're rich and it guts you. So the second wife, you go, this is lasting no matter what. If she wants to become Amish, I'm growing a long beard and shaving my mustache. And so these pretty girls,
what if that's what happened? That would have been cool.
Pretty girl politics is always liberal woke crap, and they want to go to dinner parties with famous people. So I need you to be woke. And so Stern and Kimmel just went pure woke, lost their edge. I mean, it's the exact same story twice. He was always a total jerk in a good way, like a meano-palouse. Like he would make his staff cry. He'd say, no one is like, he told me, I was at name dropping here. I was at Jennifer Aniston's house and I saw him there.
No, me too. Never.
I actually wet her guest bed, but that's another story.
Okay, let's. You got to. Excuse me. You got to tell the ADD story now.
Okay, that's a great story.
Okay.
So I see Kimmel. He's probably stoned. He was a big stoner back then. This is back when he was still had some meanness in him. And we have a mutual friend, one of his writers, Tony, and he goes, I said to them, look, I'm sick of you not giving me stuff. You know what? It's Friday. No one's leaving until I get 10 decent jokes from each one of you. And then he goes, this is Kimmel talking. He goes, I go over to Tony's desk. He's crying. And then we both laugh our heads off at him for being such a puss.
A
poo-poo guy. That was Kimmel. I mean, I had dinner with him and Justin Theroux once. Wow, I'm really dropping the names all over the floor here. And I had a white motorcycle helmet. And when I wasn't looking, they wrote Hillary on the back of my helmet.
Just to piss you off.
Just to piss me off. Which is funny. That's a good prank. I couldn't get it off. I had to use reflective tape to hide it. So that's the guy in his essence, a sports dude, a jock, the man show.
Right.
This guy is just a total wimp, crying all the time. The guy who made fun of crybabies is now a crybaby.
And you think that's because he doesn't want to lose his job? He wants to be the cool kid?
The wife. He married a young, pretty lady after his normal wife that gave him kids. And she's woke. So he's woke.
But you found the joke funny.
So the joke, and the reason I'm dying on this hill is I don't want us to be known. We got to drop the pearl clutching.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Because you lose the youth if you.
Yeah, and there's probably truth to that. Like, you can't get that pearl clutchy about some little joke, but marriage slave.
He is such a pussy. Does he say anything about Adam Carolla anymore? Like,
yeah, Carolla says that all the time. That they own a comedy club together.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, Carolla's always very friendly to him.
They hang out all the time. Carolla always kind of has to answer for him. But Carolla just had a big documentary or an article made in like a major newspaper about him, and two of the people that they focused on most interviewing him, and it was all a positive thing. He talked about it recently. He said Donald Trump signed the article for him, and it was a positive article. And that article was all interviewing Jimmy Kimmel and Alec Baldwin about how they're friends with and like Adam. So
that's so weird. If Adam got like big enough to where he's pretty big, but like if he got as big as Kimmel, like Kimmel would have to disown him, right?
They'd get to a point. For some reason, maybe it's just because he's in the podcast world, they're able to annex him in and keep him on for some reason.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because I think Carolla said that Phil Rosenthal did kind of a couple people. David Allen Greer dropped him and like made some. David Allen Greer used to be on all the time. If you didn't listen to him back in the day, it used to be hilarious. They used to be like the best. They used to be like best friends. David Allen Greer would come on like once a week, and then David Allen Greer dropped him for politics, and it was kind of an upsetting thing. And Phil Rosenthal, do you know who that is?
No.
He's the creator of the Everybody Loves Raymond show, and it's kind of funny because he almost plays that character on Curb Your Enthusiasm. The scene. Have you watched all of Curb Your Enthusiasm?
No.
Well, there's a moment in the last season where Larry David realizes that if he wears a MAGA hat, his annoying friends would stop hanging out with him or bothering him at lunch or coming to him. So Larry David starts wearing a MAGA hat all over town, and Phil Rosenthal is the one who refuses to. And it's like true to life from what I've heard. It's like Phil Rosenthal refused, and that's the person who he wanted to stop hanging out with him because he wanted to stop hearing about Everybody Loves Raymond. He's like, yes, Phil Rosenthal won't hang out with me anymore because I wear a MAGA hat. There's been a couple people, but then he says other people just been pretty magnanimous. I don't know how Corolla pulls it off. Mitch Clark says Maher has swam against the trend pretty well. Yeah, well, I think probably because he just kind of holds on to that he still hates Trump or wants Trump to go away and all that sort of stuff. But,
yeah, he's. I mean, he's smart enough to understand like how. He's a Democrat and he wants the Democrats to win, and he understands how suicidal they are with the fucking issues that they choose to die on.
All right, kind of winding down. So also some kind of funny ones. What do you do when you're a dad of two boys in this situation? What do you do?
Okay.
Let's see here if it shows the whole thing.
What's going on too? I think get a big card show. Oh no. The little bro ruined the moment. Threw it back. Little bro threw the ball back.
I'll show it here. So they give the ball to the little bro.
Hey bro, you remember that foul?
And he throws it back, and so the dad's got to.
All right, welcome back to Fenway Park, and we're here.
The dad's got to take care of both of them.
Get a big card show.
How does dad deal with that situation?
Are you kidding me? Oh,
this is fucking every day.
Because that little kid doesn't know what he's doing. He probably think actually you're supposed to throw a ball back if it's a home run from the other team. So he probably didn't know, And
Thursday back in 2023.
Right, he's just looking at it. He's like, "Oh, they lost their ball. I better get it back." When I'm
never to be forgotten.
All right, welcome back to Fenway Park.
I think it was most interesting to look at the dad and be like, oh, the dad's in the middle of that situation.
Oh yeah, no, that's what you do. That's just an everyday occurrence, basically.
And you totally understand both of them.
Yeah.
You get why the kid's so pissed about the ball going, and then you get the kid didn't know what he's doing, but now he feels bad.
Yeah, trying to reason with a guilt-ridden 5-year-old and a pissed-off 8-year-old is not the easiest thing, especially because they both demand it at the same time.
Yeah.
They're both like, why did he throw it back? He fucking hates me. No. He doesn't get it. He's younger than you, and you were 5. You wouldn't have gotten it either. If he was just playing in the sandlot with his friends and they hit it out like that, and a guy was walking by, he'd throw the ball back. So that's what he thinks he's doing, buddy. And then the 5-year-old's like, why is he mad at me? What did I fuck? Well, he just really wanted the ball, But then it doesn't land for either of them. They're both just like, fuck you for a while. But then, I don't know, an hour and a half later, they're going to be playing Minecraft together. So it doesn't matter.
Did you watch the Alex Jones parody? Did you find that funny at all? Like, do you think they have a chance of pulling any sort of comedy out of that? Tim Heidecker.
I don't have a whole lot of faith in the Onion at all.
Tim Heidecker used to be funny too, like his old stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch enough of it, and I don't see enough Alex Jones to really like. Alex Jones is a parody of a person, so it's kind of hard to parody
out here. Like if you watch, like,
I thought they were in limbo as an Associated Press, informed by Democrats that it's just too good. Should we watch some of it and see how funny it is? I'm sure this is going to be hilarious.
Once more, I did this earlier this morning, but I'm going to sip from the blood of the forsaken. This is real human blood. You can find this at the InfoWars.
Well, okay. First up, that's not.
Alejandro thought this was funny. He posted it.
Well, I'm like, if you're gonna parody Alex Jones, you gotta. He's not the one sipping from the chalice of forsaken blood. He's the one accusing the elites of doing that, right? So, you gotta.
Yeah, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah,
it's a Norm Macdonald thing. You got to actually know and love the things you're parodying, or you're gonna. Screw it up.
Part of the problem is that Alex Jones's voice is so easy to do that like anyone can do it.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have somebody that's particularly knowledgeable on him. And like I could do an Alex Jones voice, but I couldn't do a parody of him because I am completely unfamiliar with him. I could tell you about how they're turning the frogs gay, but everybody knows the gay frogs. See, that's just a little on the nose.
Well, that's what the people put up this comparison. The crazy leftist parody of InfoWars.
I was posting their favorite
actual
InfoWars. And my favorite, genuinely, was when Kanye West went on. And he was like, I love Jews, but I also love Hitler. And Alex Jones is like, whoa, bro. I do not love Hitler. I do not agree with this.
Did that freeze? Oh,
yeah.
Gosh.
It's like, yeah, I know. I mean, what's this?
Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler.
They can't. They got Kanye West in a black face mask there. Like, they can't parody that.
No, it's already parody. I don't really know how you would. Yeah, it's just not really. I'm sure it's doable. I'm sure you could do it.
Go back to comparing it, like right here.
Alex Jones, I'm going to satirize InfoWars, and it's this.
So I'm part of that. I'm part of the peace movement.
Come on, stop freezing.
It's thick. It tastes like blood.
Who's sitting there laughing?
Giving me the powers to continue to fight, and we will continue to fight. And I cheer.
Maybe some are just laughing that they got a hold of the name and they're using the actual name. Like, oh, it's so funny that they just got it and they're there.
Yeah, I mean that part's
rubbing it in his face.
That part's funny, I guess. I don't know. It's the part that pissed me off about that whole thing was mostly just like, you really want to make me? God, don't make me defend Alex Jones. He's nuts, right? But $1 billion.
Yeah.
Wasn't that what it was? $1 billion loss?
$1.3 billion.
Like, that's just nuts.
And then here's
at all. Anyway,
the thing is that he can just go down the street and do it under his own name, and nobody's gonna watch that one.
This is Alex Jones' response to it.
I'll barbecue your ass flat. I will eat you. All you spirit cookers act all tough all day. How you're doing your little satanic rituals, drinking blood and stuff. I'll drink your blood. You understand that? I will hang your ass up and cut you into cutlets like a filet mignon and grill your ass.
They can't compete with it. Man.
No.
It's gonna be the floppity flop of flops. But I would be embarrassed if I was his Alex Jones impression is good, but the writing reinforces the point that the left can't meme. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, no, he does a good impression. It's just, like I said, it's easy to do an impression. And the problem with somebody who's easy to do an impression of is that, like, Trump, for example, is not very easy to do a good impression of. I can't do it at all. But the people who can, like Alex Jones does not, or Alex fucking Baldwin, he does not do a good Trump impression.
No.
And they have him do it all the time. Shane Gillis does a fantastic Trump impression, and that's because he had to try at it. He had to work at it. And if you're working at doing an impression of somebody, you gain a knowledge of that person. So you can do a better parody.
Yeah, you got to know the stuff better. It's just not going to be good. Like that. Obviously, Tim Heidecker hasn't listened enough. Maybe he could do it. Heidecker is a funny enough person if you ever watched Tim and Eric stuff, but that was all kind of more absurdist comedy. You know, I never saw him try to actually say it's going to fail. It's a bad idea and stupid. And they paid $100 million or something like that.
Well, and I don't think anybody, the people who will watch it, I think they'll lose interest after like this episode. Like,
yeah, they're not going to keep watching.
Tuned in and be like, oh, this is a hilarious thing that happened. And yeah, it's kind of funny that
it's like a pie in the face right now today to Alex Jones, but then it's like, okay, pie's thrown, you know, it's over now. So they're done. There's no, and even like with that, I mean, Alex Jones was he's doing stuff like 14 hours a day. They're not even going to put out. If you think like Kyle Dunnigan's impersonations and the satire that he does, like those things are just like a couple minutes each one of them. Like that's all he can do any character for.
Yeah.
Know?
Did that Bill Maher clip of him saying that he didn't think the impersonation was good? That was like, you pussy. That impersonation is uncanny.
Yeah.
It is so good.
I guess we'll end on this. It was, I forget what it's called, like Inc. Magazine wrote an article saying pattern recognition is another name for racism and sexism.
Of course.
And that's one to end on. Like keep that in your thoughts. So stop noticing. No more noticing. We've been noticing too much.
Yeah, you're really lending the Groypers a lot of credibility when you say shit like that.
So no, I got other stuff, but it'll always be some more of the same and a little bit blah. So I think we back. I should go into like Shadiversity and Shadiversity's Shadiversity's Mormon defenses and Shadiversity getting into it with Jim Bob and the Ortho Bros and all that sorts of stuff. I wonder like why the ex-Mormons, Shadiversity is a bigger channel than Jacob's, right? And now he's looking like all Mormon apologetics. I mean, you would think the ex-Mos would catch wind or sniff of that, but yeah, Shadiversity crashed out with Jim Bob a little bit. Well, I think he just crashed out. You got really upset at him. I don't know that his arguments were that bad or anything, but
I do on one hand feel for the Mormons because it's like the Christian world treats Mormons as like flippantly and stupidly as like the meanest atheists will treat all of religion, you know?
Yeah.
they'll say the same things. They'll be like, oh, you believe in a fairy tale by a con man, shit like that. So I get being frustrated, but it's also just like, it's such a it's an uphill battle, buddy, to try to argue for Mormonism.
He's going all in on it. It's like it's a name of his now, though. It's like he's really trying to become switching over to. Let's see. Thoughtful Faith has 70,000 subscribers. Shadiversity has 1.6 million.
Oh damn! I didn't realize he was that big.
Yeah, it's huge. So, and now he's not quitting his other stuff, but he's every week doing another Mormon defense video. And he comes out, I would think if like you were that big of an influencer and that big of stuff, like you'd maybe be a little bit more cautious like Jacob was with Allie Beth Stuckey, but no, he just comes out full throat swinging. Like, we got the right stuff. You guys got the wrong stuff. Like, he would say, yeah, Satan's his brother and that's the correct thing. And like, what's your problem with it? You guys are wrong. I think he's a little bit more direct with stuff.
Wow, that's a way to do it.
But I guess you'll see if that works or doesn't work or what thing. I don't know. Maybe we'll be seeing Shadiversity as the next big Mormon apologist out there. So
go for it, bud. Best of luck. I don't know.
Yeah. All righty. I gotta run. Take dog. He got at me early tonight. So
all righty.
Man, he's there sitting, staring at me expectantly.
He knows it's 11.
Yeah. Thanks for chilling, everybody.
All right. See ya.
Buy my product.
I was just getting in them. Got them Uyghurs down there, and they just go, wee.
Have fun.
Gotta go back to work and
Uyghur
stuff
phone.
now. That's
If
just
you need to scream a word into your pillow to get it off your chest, go ahead and scream it in your pillow.
I feel so terrible when I do it. It's just bad, but it's just nice to get it off your chest.
All right. 90.
See ya.
Bye.